Rap Roundtable.
You already know what it is. It's your boy Jaw.
Sincere the Rap Snob.
Lacey Liguizamo.
J-Mo, no shame-o.
No shame-o.
What's fucking with that? Diddy, go get him.
Shout out to Sin, the beat was laced with the groove. Drive through the lob and the round table ensued. Lang added in beautifully. Jameson the booze, you see. Find Dini somewhere in the clouds, usually. Exclusively, we came together, bringing you these clever endeavors. Classics, we've been doing this since forever. Move the lever and distribute perspectives and contribute to the culture that we love and hold dear. 4 cups pulled up, and this shit go back for some years. Only difference now, this mic's up in here, connecting like it's Voltron. Press play and watch us go on. You better get up on this wave like the Coast Guard. The Rap Roundtable.
I'm so drunk right now.
Listen, you already know what it is. Let's do what we do.
The upper echelon of the podcasters is here.
Yeah.
You dig?
The Rap Roundtable.
Know the
Year-end vibes.
Yes, sir.
We've been doing this longer than you. Kanye voice. I'm not talking to anyone in particular. Don't get offended. People be fiending. They swear you talking about them. But I'm just talking my shit.
Yeah.
We are the upper echelon of the podcasters.
It's a fact.
That's a fact, man. Straight up and down.
Scientific fact.
For the newcomers, we do our little starting lineup. To my left, the rap snob extraordinaire himself, Sincere.
Hey, hey, hey.
Okay, Fat Albert.
Yo, we got the homie Langston Leguizamo hot take extraordinaire.
Yo, it was really good, people. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving.
You already know what it is. Dini, the balance of the Rap Roundtable. What it is, brother?
Vroom, vroom. Let the vibes happen right now.
And I am your point guard, Jav. We are here. Fellas, let's get right into it. It's gonna be a long episode for people who you know, they like their little hour-and-a-half action. We might run a little overtime today, so buckle up, lock in, don't get offended. Just get your popcorn, get your commute, whatever it is. That's a long period of time. You're gonna need it, right?
It's a lot to cover.
A lot to cover. Current events.
Yes.
Post Malone at the American Music Awards won Best Rap Album. Normally here is where I would pass it off, but I got a bit of a gripe, so I want to get my gripe out the way early.
Let's work.
I vividly remember him saying at a certain point that he's not a rapper.
Facts.
His music is not hip hop.
We were just talking about this.
So how is it that a person who said he's not a rapper, who's not hip hop, gets nominated for a rap album and then wins Best Rap Album, although he didn't rap one time on the album? What's going on with this situation? Langston, you're a smart guy. Can you help me understand the bullshittiness of the situation?
Well, Post Malone strikes me as a guy that says silly things sometimes. So
Okay.
if he says something, he's not a guy that I'm necessarily going to take very seriously. So I wouldn't put much stock in how he chooses to classify his music or how he says people should interact with his music. He doesn't strike me as that smart of a guy, to be quite frank.
Wow.
I mean, you know, like, he's, you know, I like Post Malone. I think that his music is okay.
Right.
I just don't, I'm not going to Post Malone for sophisticated takes on anything.
So, all right. So, with that said, you don't necessarily respect what he says. So, are you saying that you disagree with his own assertion that he's not hip hop? Do you think Post Malone is hip hop?
Yeah. I mean, it's a more watered down version of hip hop for sure, but
Right.
it's got hip hop in its DNA. It's like, you know, trap sort of pop music.
Okay.
See, the further we stray from it and still call it that, like, at this point it becomes really difficult to say something. Even if, like, by his own assertion, he's like, that's not what I do. So us as an audience, like, listening to it and be like, well, it's got like this, like,
Tinge.
yeah, like this 2% element of hip hop. Yeah, we can still call it hip hop. Nah, I call bullshit on that.
Okay.
Like, immediately.
So it's not, to you, Post Malone is not a hip hop artist.
No.
So
not
you
at
don't.
all.
So he's not a hip hop artist. He gets massive spins on hip hop radio stations.
Fact.
Hot 97, Power, I think on satellite radio as well, Hip Hop Nation, Shade 4-5, everything that's hip hop, he is there.
Performs with hip hop artists.
Performs with hip hop. All of his features are hip hop, right? So with that being said, it's like, what are you saying, Post? Deanie, talk to me, man.
It's kind of like a mockery of the culture a little bit.
He's mocking the culture.
You got it, because if I'm taking a piece of something, and come on, I mean, White Iverson, that's a hip hop song, bro. It is.
I really like that song.
It's a hip hop song. You knew what you were doing when you made that song. You knew the vibe that came with that song. It's even named after a black person. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to play the race card.
Named after a black athlete.
True indeed. But this, what I'm saying is
he from Virginia?
I think he's from Texas, Post Malone.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not even no like hometown connection.
Nah.
It's not even just a black athlete. Like it was Allen Iverson was the black hip hop athlete, bro.
Yes,
The,
yes, he
you know
was.
what I'm saying? So it just, for you to have so much resonation with hip hop, but you to say I'm not a hip hop artist, but I'm doing so many things that show I deal with hip hop, it just kind of comes off as saying that I'm. It's kind of like I'm that's my friend, but that's not my friend. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to. Go ahead.
I get why. I get the outrage, and it is outrageous. The fact that you benefit so much, you're making all this money on the shoulders of the culture, and yet you won't even acknowledge it.
And another thing that does not get mentioned a lot of that was built off the respect of black fans. If you have black fans, the white fans will come, bro. They will come. I mean,
it's the oldest story in America, bro.
If
so, what you saying that this man is Elvising the hip hop
culture
situation?
vulturing it a little bit. A lot of it.
A little bit.
But all right, we're killing Post here. You know, let's be clear.
The music is dope,
right? That's you took the words right out of my mouth.
I would have been had no offense if he said, "Yeah, I dibble in hip hop." He would have, if anything, got more respect from the culture. You know what I'm saying? Because you are taking bits of the culture, just the same way Lil X is taking bits of dick. You know?
Yeah. So I ain't going there, but 100% fact, and just for the idiots who listen to the show. You will catch me listening to a few Post Malone records because I like his music.
Got some joints.
But it's not about the music. Oh, you better not listen to Post. Shut the hell up. I'm gonna listen to Post. I'm gonna listen to them right now, maybe. You know what I mean? But I just take issue with the fact that how can he win best rap album on an album where he never rapped? How is that possible? Can someone explain that to me?
When you're not a rapper.
Is
well,
that
so? Let me jump in real quick. I mean, granted, he won an American Music Award, right? American Music Awards are not. I mean, as we've discussed here at this Square Roundtable for you bozos out there, as we've discussed, we don't put too much weight on these award ceremonies and whatnot.
I mean, we do enough to talk about it now.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we know that
contest.
these award ceremonies have a history of not being in touch with the culture, right? And the culture is 40 years old now, and still they're getting it wrong, clearly. But the American Music Awards specifically, they always go for what's big in pop, the poppiest acts possible, right? Nobody at this table, if you were to think of R&B or 80s superstars, you would think Madonna, Janet Jackson, and stuff like that, right? You wouldn't think Paula Abdul, but Paula Abdul
was up there.
On the American Music Awards, winning mad of those awards, right? This particular award has a history of just going for whatever is the poppiest thing of that year. And just throwing that in.
So given that criteria, they got it right, didn't they?
Well, they got it right.
But it's not a rap album.
But it's not a rap album. That's the problem.
And
Post Malone is huge as a pop musician, and he's a pop star, right? But he'll tell you himself that he, and then it goes back to the, you're not gonna play the race card, but I'm gonna play it. I have no problem playing that card when it applies, right? You know what I mean? It's another story of a white artist coming in,
jerking the game,
and just taking what they need from the culture, just enough, right?
Yeah.
Just enough. They don't jump with both feet in. They put a little toe in it, dip a toe in it, say, you know, I'm
this
cool.
feels
I'm
good.
cool with 21 Savage.
Test
I'm
the
cool
waters.
with, you know, DJ Khaled and blah blah blah. But
Mustard here,
at the end of the day, they're not part of the culture. But then they get the credit for being
part
the
of the
best in the culture. That is in
Violation of the game.
the fact that he won an American Music Award. That's the most American thing ever.
Ever.
You know what I mean?
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Facts.
Listen. It's not a rap album. It should have never been part of the rap album discussion, and I'm just not going for it. Again, this has nothing to do with Post Malone.
You heard
Makes
it?
great music. We talking about the album?
Yeah.
Yes.
I made it through 4 tracks, bro. I couldn't anymore, bro.
Hey,
to be honest.
I'm not saying he's out here making masterpieces.
Nah, there's a couple joints that I was hitting, but there was 2 joints in that 4-way rotation. I was just like,
I just
bro.
feel like because they don't know what to qualify it as, because it's kind of genre-less. It has some pop undertones,
Sure.
some hip hop undertones. What do we just throw it in the hip hop file? Like, come on.
Well, I mean,
Because he's working with rappers.
that's
Is that
part
what
of
it
it.
is?
But I think, you know, the music that he look. If you don't want to call what he's doing rapping, like I get it. That term rapping is much more wider encompassing today than it was years ago. But his music is sort of trappish, even if it's a watered down, sort of diluted version of trap.
And you're not even like reaching out and getting the greats. Like, no offense to the baby, you getting the hottest acts of today on your records. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big deal. You
So
get who's popping right now.
So, Lane, what you're saying is that what Post Malone is doing is a watered down version of something that's already watered down.
Oh, come on, man.
So
Wow.
we double watering down.
H200.
Yo,
No.
listen. If you're not sure by now, we are tonight's entertainment. Fellas, Griselda drop,
Yeah.
Fabolous drop. A lot of good music.
Lot
You know
of
what
good
it is?
music.
2019. We're gonna get into the year a little later in the episode, but 2019 has been a very low key good year for rap.
Very low key.
I would say that this is the least amount of like bullshit rap we've had in a long time, as far as a calendar year goes. Right?
That's
True.
Fact. I would say so.
Back to back too.
How do we feel about the Griselda album? Like who wants to take that? You know, Rap Snap, stay out of here because it's in your pocket. We know what you're gonna say.
I'll take
Is
this
an
one, bro.
alley oop for
What it
me?
is.
All right.
Yo, the album was fire, bro.
Okay.
Pluses, if you like grungy hip hop, you like bars, you like schemes,
Grimy shit.
you like just hood tales, it's right up your alley.
It's
It's
you
not
hear
a-
that mix,
ooh,
people?
that's a smooth- that's a smooth
that
bring it.
dude sin.
It's not a
Holla at me.
you got beats, holla. But it's real street, man. I love the joint with 50. The intro fire too. West Side Gun, bro. He's like a reinvigorated Ghost to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can detect it, but I love the voice manipulation.
Yeah, the voice. It's the voice. It's the voice and the swag.
The
how
drag,
he leans
the drag,
into.
yeah.
I mean, he's not.
But I love it.
Yeah, he's not as dexterous with the
With
flow
words,
and
right.
with the words.
True.
You don't got
But
the
he's so
vocab.
charismatic.
But he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Conway with the bars. I'm talking about bars on bars.
And
on
Benny
bars.
too. Benny
cooking.
really showed me something on
It's
that
a
album.
good. I want to hear how y'all felt about the drink with M.
We gonna get there.
We'll
Talk
get
your
there,
talk,
we'll get
bro.
there, we'll
Talk
get
your
That's
talk.
the part I really want. And, by the way, quick sidebar. You know, did you see Shaq's top 5 MCs?
Nah, I didn't.
It's Pac, Hove, Big. I just know, and Shady's on there. Shady's a part of the 5, bro.
Well, who was the
That's
fifth
nice.
one?
It's somebody major. It's just skipping me right now, but I'm just so locked into the part that is Shady. But back to what you were saying, though. I'm just happy for Shady. Go ahead, what you
Yeah, that 5 blew mine, bro. For me, the Griselda album, tough.
Fire.
I felt like we got into a time machine, went back in time, but a lot of times when you hear people who are stuck in an old New York way, it's a snooze fest of a project. It's not the best. It sounds dated. For some reason, it was vintage in every good way possible.
100% agree with that.
You know,
It was the classic hood basement album, bro. As far as like lyrical content,
exactly.
It was just real, man. I loved it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I had to describe the album in one sentence, it would be what Jarv just said. It's vintage without sounding dated.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a criticism. No, I'm sorry. We doing a pod thing. producing and making it happen at the same time. You mentioned West Side Gun, right?
Yeah.
I believed he was the weak link of that album.
A lot of people say that.
I felt like
Out of the clique.
Conway was spitting. That's why.
Even the click, but to this project, I just felt like there was a lot of times where even like the boom, 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 boom.
I love that. I love his bars are like bullets.
He's the personality though.
The ad lib was at some point it became too extra. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It was just like I couldn't deal with the situation.
Did you just ding yourself?
No, I was. Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's allowed.
It's a confirmation thing.
It was. See, Diddy understood what was going on here. You know what I mean? So I just felt as though the bars weren't hitting as hard. Like when you listen to like Conway, Benny the Butcher, the pocket game between the two of them, glorious.
Yeah.
They really gave me SP and Kiss vibes with the manipulation of the pocket. You know what I'm saying? But then when I'm hearing West Side Gun, it's like he's good. He's like since they're wrestling fans, I don't know if y'all know this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
If there's Hall and Nash, even though he claims himself to be either Hall or Nash in that little movement, he's really X-Pac, bro. He's not. He's not Scott Hall. He's not Kevin Nash.
So in the
he's six
in the
from
big three, he's
NWO.
Bosch. In the big three, he's Bosch.
Yo, Bosch is a Hall of Famer.
He's not even Bosch, bro.
Nah, don't disrespect West Side like that.
Hold on.
Let's not disrespect West Side, especially because I was no. This is why I got a personal stake in this because I was making this beat the other day and I was like, oh my God, West Side Gun. I put a West Side Gun.
So because you thought of him in a beat,
an acapella over it, and I was like, yo, this is a match made in heaven. I'm a tweet him, and I'm a tweet him this beat. Yo, he got to get on this.
Get the fuck out.
But when he comes on the track, bro, it's so distinct though, bro. Like you feel the energy on the track though.
You know what I mean?
You cannot discount his energy. You can't discount his charisma, his personality. He's the ad lib dude. Like without him, you know what I mean? Like you get bars from Benny and from Conway. But you need that balance. You need that, that extra charisma, that personality.
You saying all of that, and he's still not Chris Bosh? There's a drop off, bro.
Listen, I disagree with the idea that there's a weak link in that trio.
Okay, that's fine. Talk to me.
I think they all work off of each other really well. I mean, this might be a little too on the nose. Like, I don't know. They just really remind me of the Locks, and you mentioned it with the Kiss and Styles comparison.
But
they work really well off of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Would Sheik be considered the weakest link? And I love Sheik.
Yeah, he absolutely would.
I think everybody would agree with that.
Because when I listen to the,
I've gotten blowback for that when I say shit.
I hear what he's saying because when I listen to the show, I was like, damn, is Conway gonna come back on after West Side Gun? And then the song would cut off or something. I'm like, oh, okay, that's just the vibe. So I get what he's saying. They were just going in that album.
I think if we were to compare them to the Locks, Conway would be Kiss, Benny would be SP, and
I disagree. So I think.
But don't do Sheik Louch like that. To me, Sheik Louch back in the 90s was the nicest one.
But listen,
Sheik was that guy, bro.
But listen, my thing, I don't say that disparaging West Side Gun because Sheik, again, to me, that balance of the personality of the crew is important. Right. And Sheik was always the personality. His flow always had like, a quality about it that the other two didn't have. Right.
So West Side reminds me of Kiss, and he's not as good a lyricist as Kiss is, but like Kiss, he brings so much presence to the track with his voice and with his presence and with his ad libs.
I feel you. I feel you.
Nah, but I'm hearing boom, 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 all over the album. It's like, all right, okay, you know what I'm saying? All right, we get it. All over.
I love West Side Gun.
That's part of this is trolling because they honestly, I know some of these rappers listen to our podcast, bro. I'm trolling, okay? Don't get personal. I'm trolling. All the bars is fire, but there has to be a criticism there, and that's my criticism. It was a little too extra, and I felt like the album 2 was so good that this was super good that one person kind of has to stand out going the other way. To me, it was West Side Gun. I love the interludes. I love
I love that interlude.
Both
blow your fucking
Yeah.
face
Yeah,
off.
starting it off with the Raekwon.
The Raekwon
intro.
I love the
Yeah.
Raekwon
And the one
cosign.
right before the final track.
Yes,
Using the same beat for each. That's real old school hip hop where like when it was breaks, it was a consistency about those breaks and they all kind of felt cohesive. The album was cohesive and I felt like it wasn't like that playlist vibe that we get from albums where it's just song.
Right.
I have a critique, and I'm sorry, Dini. I want your opinion, Jarv, if you would be so kind. 50 Cent's verse.
Fire.
I thought it was trash.
Nah, he
He
trash.
sounded rusty to
Wow.
me. It sounded like he forgot how to rap.
Wow.
trash.
No,
Who's
that's
this
that's OD. That's OD. He ain't blowing me a pause. But
I mean, 50 Cent in his heyday was never like Rakim, but he was
not- he was
well
better than
above
I.
average
he,
MC.
he gave you a certain energy. He brought,
I
always
agree
brought
with that, but the
energy.
bars were not good.
You think the bars were? I felt like he fit right in with them. I felt like he didn't stick out like a sore thumb to me at all. I felt like they brought the best out of him.
Well, he was on a track with Conway. I thought Conway rapped circles around him.
I mean,
now he
that's
fit in
not-
with the vibes for sure.
But 50 was never a lyrical schmirical guy. You know what I mean?
he wasn't.
No, but I think I always
you just wanted that 2001
Classic, yeah.
energy.
But even
on
then,
the
it wasn't
track.
like close to it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But the energy,
crazy
the
vibe.
way he attacked a track was different. But I mean, it's like
well,
almost.
I'm
20
with
years
you
ago,
on this.
man.
You know
like-
what? That's like the best 50 verse I heard in a long time, in my opinion.
Yo, but he don't spit no more. The last time I heard 50 Cent was on that song with 6ix9ine, who's on
that
the
was a
witness
year
stand.
ago.
That was a year, and before that, it was like 4
That
or
verse
5
is
years
pretty
ago.
dry too, though.
Oh yeah. But
That 50 verse on that song.
but since we talking about features, Dini talked about the
chill. My take.
Oh, I thought you
No,
Yeah,
sorry,
you
sorry,
Nah,
Sid,
man,
sorry.
nah.
You
We've been
did?
saving you for
No, you
last,
skipped
bro.
me, remember? Because it's
saving
too.
you for
Because you gonna
last.
say it's good anyway.
Nah, that album was fire. That album was fire. That shit was fire, son. That shit
All
was
right,
fire.
there's a hot take by Sincere. The rap style.
I do have a slight critique about it. It's cohesive for sure, and it put me back in that. Yeah, I knew this is a personal fave. I know. I had to throw that in there too. It really brought me back to that, like somewhere between 95, 97, Wu-Tang. You mentioned Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, like Hell on Earth, Mobb Deep. It's just like there's a certain like dystopian almost quality sound to it that you don't really find too much anymore, man. And it's like natural. It's not like forced or anything like that.
I compare it to a movie. Like, you watch a movie and it's just one way.
Exactly.
Through a movie, it's just one hardcore.
Cinematic grit is what I text Sincere.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Absolutely. But my personal gripe, and it's a minor gripe, Mob and Wu in them.
Yep.
They would give us a few other layers to it. They would give us an anthem.
Off the course, yeah.
I mean, like Ice Cream or Shook Ones. You know what I mean?
Right.
They would give us like Can It Be Also Simple?
Right.
You know what I mean? This was just straight hard shit all the way through. You know what I mean? Which I dug, obviously. But if they would have thrown in like a Can It Be Also Simple type of song.
How's it going down?
this
Kinda,
you know what I mean?
motherfucking
No,
rap snob. Do you hear this guy?
No, not how it's going down. No, listen. Listen.
hold on.
I didn't want a chick song.
Press something.
I didn't want a chick song. How's it going?
Yes.
How's it going down with a bit of chick? I didn't want a chick song.
Right.
I just wanted.
They put a bow on it just for you.
No. For instance, one of my favorite Griselda, and let me pat myself on the back for out of the four of us, me being the one to bring Griselda.
Yeah, you were the first one
on this
that
to the
is
map.
a fact. This was like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yes. One of my favorite joints is off a West Side project called The Cow, and if you haven't heard it, like Conway just lets his heart bleed all over that track, right? I wanted a little something like that, but again, I said it's a minor gripe.
So let me ask you this, Sam.
Yeah.
Are you calling this album monotonous?
A little bit.
I love how you backed him into a corner.
A
just
little
now.
bit, but in a good way, in a way
In a
that
good
I
way,
love.
okay.
You know what? You're right. I'll grant you that. And you said like when he was talking about the Wu-Tang and the Mobb Deep, you said like they will go off course a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll say that Griselda did stay on course
The whole way.
in the best possible way, but again, because they didn't go off course, they limited themselves to their listening audience.
Yeah.
Because I doubt there'll be an 18-year-old blasting this album. I felt like they have so much personality. You know, even if I did criticize West Side Gun, they all come with personality. They're not generic copy and paste rappers. You know, like, and I feel like that's another thing that's been missing from rap is the personality with the bars. Sometimes dudes be nice, but they be boring. Like these guys are characters. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they needed to. I think if they're gonna do another album, maybe next year, a year after, whenever it comes again, go off course a little bit. Don't compromise yourself, but go off course.
I almost felt like when I listened to the album, they listened to you on the show, bro. I feel like
you being sincere.
I feel like
right?
they gave you everything you wanted. Like I feel like one of them whispered to him, "Yo, we should throw something on with some introspect." No, Mo, don't do it. Sin want the hood joint. I felt like somebody listened to it.
The straight
That's why
hard
when I listened to it, I was like,
drums.
Sin ain't gonna have no complaints about this. And to hear that you actually want a joint like that is just crazy to me,
And
bro.
just throw it in. You know what I mean? Just
And I don't know. I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but if y'all do know, who produced the album?
Darren
I don't
Richard.
know. Who is that?
God,
He's their in-house producer.
He's great.
it's
Yeah,
like
he's
the whole way
It's
through.
like did
He's out of that
RZA and
Alchemist.
Alchemist and
Yeah.
Havoc make a baby?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's he's from that
that's the
school.
music you listen to and you're about to get on the corner, bro. Like that was lace up your boots.
That's the score. Are you saying
Yeah.
this movie, the
That's
Griselda album, the Griselda movie, them
grinding
selling
movie
drugs?
score.
Yes,
bro.
that.
And you know, we touched on it, but it bears repeating. Like again, it's that vintage New York sound, but it's not dated, and that is a really tough line to toe. So props to that.
So
guy
now-
for doing it.
Fact.
The elephant in the room, the Eminem feature.
Yeesh.
He was bugging out on the record, bro. Like to
Talk,
me,
talk to me,
Dini
Dini.
is ready. Go ahead, Dini.
to me,
He really was,
even
yo.
worse than 50. He was the what's the negative version of a highlight?
A low
Low
light.
light.
A blooper.
How hard is that?
You call him a blooper?
And now
And
take.
I love Shady, but for how they were spitting on the album,
Yo, that
you know
was
what's crazy?
so
For the
unnecessary,
for the
bro.
first couple bars, I was like, yo, this nigga's about to go in. But then he went oopity booping towards the end, and I couldn't get with that. But
Oopity
he
boop.
was the low light
Put
of
that
the
on
album.
a shirt.
Hoopity
Bro.
boop.
Scoopity boop.
Yo,
And that's your man's.
And I love Shady.
so you want to go first or should I?
Yo,
Nah, you
just
could
get
go.
the spatulas
You
out.
could
You're
go,
about
man.
to cook my man.
Yo, when he came on the first verse, I'm talking about, you know when rappers know they got a feature and they up their game?
Yes.
That first verse was expert textbook rap. And I love that shit. And then I hear this Marshall come on. What the fuck are you doing? Did you not hear his verse before you wrote yours?
That wasn't a part of the deal contract verse.
That's a fact.
I'm sorry to jump in like this, but that was the most jarring thing to me is what Dini just brought up.
What?
The fact that you can't divorce the business relationship that they have with Eminem.
Yeah.
So it reeks of like, all right, well, we had to include this because
but they
he's the
didn't
boss.
though. They didn't need to get an M verse. We didn't need
No,
M.
there's no way that was their call,
They
bro.
could've get-
crazy.
That's not their call.
They could have got Royce to
When's
get a
the-
verse. He's shady, ain't he?
When's the
Yeah.
last time 50 and Ab was on an album, anyone's album together?
They did a song with Ed Sheeran this
salute
anyway.
to them
Who?
for getting a 50 and M feature.
Yeah.
Well, fuck out of here with that M feature.
Yeah, it was
Nigga,
weird.
did you hear the beat?
It was weird.
Did you hear what he was rapping about? I know Eminem wasn't a drug dealer. He was the niggas he was selling to. He was using the shit, right?
I mean, you know, it's
Right? He was
Fact.
the customer, right?
Yes.
Probably
I understand all that.
Them snorting
Yeah.
still
He didn't
Snorting
belong in that.
meth.
He didn't belong in that aesthetic. I understand
not
each
at all,
and every
man.
piece of that. But rap at its core, you hear a beat. Like I wouldn't want to hit me on this beat that's playing right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let the beat talk to you, and then let your verse work around what the beat
And
told you
talk
to
to the
do.
beat.
That's supposed to bring your bullshit brand to this beat. I don't want to.
Yo, bro, I want to.
No,
in my,
Jarv,
in my
Jarv.
soul, I'm listening to
Yeah,
like, yo,
I'm
he
upset.
got a
Jarv
black.
is. I think that's a really good breakdown of why the verse didn't work because, I mean, M kind of killed it, except like
He
it was.
did kill it. He ruined it.
No, there was like a 4-bar sequence where it was like he's about
But
to
he
go
just
crazy,
sounds
and then
so
he just,
out of place, like. And it's for the reasons that you're bringing up. Like, there's no consideration of who you're on the song with,
Right.
of what the beat sounds like.
Right.
And Eminem has reached a place in his career, I think, where he's been told that he's great so many times, and we see this across different...
He's giving you the factory default.
Right. He's kind of on autopilot, and he's lost that what makes any artist great in any art.
Right.
It's that obliviousness to what makes him great. And now he knows what works, and he's sticking with it even when it doesn't work.
What he thinks works, or what thinks got him to that point that he's at now. And yeah, no, I mean,
he violated
it just blew mine. Like, it really, I was taken through this journey through like the hells of Buffalo, New York,
the trap,
through the eye of these three wordsmiths, and just like they built this whole vibe and energy, and they built this whole like scenery, and then it's like Eminem just comes and just like bum rushes through. And it's like,
he's like when you went on the train in Chinatown and you trying to get off and you get bum rushed as you're trying to get off the train. It's like, whoa!
Nah,
what are you doing?
He was more like
here's the thing that pisses me off so much.
Oh my goodness!
At the Sanctum Sanctorum, he just dropped through the ceiling and wrecked the
and
whole
here's the
joint.
part like that pisses me off so much is like like in very similar to what you guys were saying is like Eminem wants to twist the beat into what he wants it to be, not what it is. You know what I mean? And he's like, how can I like take this beat and make it a pretzel that ties in with my pretzel of words that my fucking word salad that I'm spewing on? And it's like, that's not necessary, man. Like, fit the vibe of what this, and for it to be the last thing that you hear on the album,
it tells me that they didn't like it. They heard it and it was like, we gotta include it, but let's just make it a bonus track.
But if it was me, I would just get it out of the way faster.
No, but you know what? The way the album flowed, that verse would have stifled it, bro.
Yeah, that would have ruined. You might have not even hit the next song, bro. The way I felt about it was this. You know how you listen to a song and you check to see the name of the song because this song fire. I gotta put this in the mental Rolodex.
Right. Yes.
So I'm listening. I'm like, oh, this verse fire. I look at the song like this the one with Eminem. Yo, it better be fire. So I come to the round table with that smoke.
I know it's gonna be garbage off the rip.
Coming for me. I know sin is coming for me. So I'm like, let me listen to it. I listen to the verse. I'm like, yo, just get the pitchforks out. It's about to be over for me. Bro.
Yo, is it too early for us to get refills on this JMO?
It was trash, bro.
Hey, you know,
no.
I was mad.
Let's just say got the bottle, but
I was mad, bro.
All right, so universally here before we go to the next project, quickly, out of 5, you know it's a staple of the show. Lang, out of 5, Griselda.
Man, it just dropped today. We're on the day we're recording. I'm not gonna take too long. I'm torn between 3.5 and 4. So I am going to be generous and give it 4 because I want more of this kind of hip hop. 4 mics.
Dini.
I see this. I was 3.85, but I'll lean towards 4 because I do want more of that, bro. That was fire.
Oh, thanks.
You know
I'm gonna give it a 3.75 out of 5.
Yeah.
There's enough room for growth.
Yeah. I'm with Jarv. Holy shit!
So we're in agreement here.
I would round it up to 4 for the same.
Too high.
Yeah, but for the same reasons as Lang said, like I want to reward this direction.
If it was ranking it as far as just grunge hip hop, it'd be like a 4.3 or something like that. As far as just grunge, but as far as a well-rounded hip hop album,
yeah. All right, so what about this Fab tape, Summertime Shootout 3? Let's talk about it. Who at first, before we continue, being that it's tight, who listens to it first?
I heard it.
Lang, no,
I wasn't able to. Apologies to our listeners.
I got to it. I got to it.
All right, cool. I got to most of it. Dini, once again, talk to us.
I like it.
Yeah,
I think it's classic Fab. I think it's manipulation of kind of like the way Tory Lanez does on the Chicks tape,
right?
Of classics that we love that are in just dear to our souls,
okay,
and flip them nicely. You know what I'm saying? Lyrically, Fab was spitting on the album, bro. Like lyrically, that I think he was in rare form. Like I haven't heard him rap like the way he was just everything was just tight lyrically, bro. Bars were tight, flow was tight. Gave you the anthems for the ladies that's gonna keep his name ringing for like another 20 years. I think he covered all his bases. Gave you the hood joints, gave you the baller joints, gave you the joints for the ladies. Couple of summer anthems that'll rock out.
Did we get the bars though?
Bar wise, I think Fab. This is probably the hardest I've heard Fab rap in a while, bro.
What about Freddie versus Jason?
I like it.
wasn't
I like.
impressed.
I like it.
You
better.
weren't impressed by Fab on that album?
I think he was
Fab
on
outshined
auto.
Jada, yes.
I think he was on
Yeah.
autopilot on that album though.
Yeah.
He outshined Jada though, but as far lyrically, I think this.
Remember we were saying that the Dave East and SP was better than Freddie versus Jason?
Yeah, I love that the Beloved album. I thought that was
That's what
excellent.
we're saying. It was fire. For me with the Fab tape, I'm not gonna. It was good, to be fair, but I guess for me, maybe I'm nitpicking. You know, I'm just not sure that this was the direction Fab was supposed to go in. Now, to be clear, it was good, but was it the growth that you'd like to hear from a person who's 20 years deep in the game? No, I didn't. It didn't feel that way for me. And this is me, because the thing is, sometimes I get pushed back from people who say I be too critical, right? I don't like anything. I hear that, like, you don't like anything, you know?
Oh, you're that guy. You're me, and you're second
Yo,
friends.
you know how many times I've been attacked for not liking what everyone else likes?
Sincer's in a different category.
But not yet, bro, because I'm the professor who might grade on the curve sometimes. You're not curving any grade.
No,
You know?
you get what you get.
I just felt like Fab at pushing 40, making records that sound like what the 20-year-olds are making. I don't want that from Fab. I don't want auto-tune Fab. I don't want singing on hooks Fab. You know?
That's the best part. There's a feature damn like on every song, so you had to sing this.
but he was auto-tuning and he was singing too.
I mean, he's trying to
couple of
eat,
songs.
man.
Yeah, but I don't want that.
Sounds to me like an older rapper who's trying to eat in 2019.
Right, that's what it is. It's like,
That's
bro.
always been what Fab gave us.
Yeah.
But you gotta grow up at some point.
I don't see.
People do what works, bro.
Even like I'm not. You don't gotta be Jay-Z and put on the button downs and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But bro, like you done had kids. You done had drama with your
Yeah.
lady in front of the world.
I saw
You had
some-
so much shit.
domestic violence.
You had so much shit to make a
allegedly.
fire project.
If you
in my
if
eyes.
you can maintain your youth for as long as Fab did, bro, you probably would, bro. I mean, Fab don't look a day over 25, man.
You right? Yo, listen. Fab is one of the nicest ever.
Agreed.
I'm not
Up there.
I'm
Yeah.
not the music. Now, he
Really?
is, bro.
Just on
Bar
pure,
for bar?
sin,
Stop
pure
it, bro.
talent. I'm
He's
talking
nice,
about,
bro.
like God-given ability.
He is. Son.
Listen,
Like it's not even. I ain't saying
You said
he's
you
top
heard the
5
album?
that are reliable. But he one of the nicest ever, bro.
You heard the album?
Yeah, I
And
heard
you,
it.
and you still feel that way?
No. Like so.
Here you go, D.
Yeah. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen.
Got him riled up.
See, I guess because I don't have
You
I don't
never
know.
love
I don't-
Fab. That was
yeah,
the thing.
no, that's the thing. Like
You
I
never
don't
loved him.
put Fab on that pedestal that y'all put him in.
don't
Like
gotta love
it's
a person to
probably
appreciate a great
like the extra
project.
years
He
that I
does.
have, the extra years that I have on y'all. Like by the time Fab came along, I'm like, oh, all right, this is Baby Mace. You know what I mean?
It's way nicer than Mace, bro.
So
way nicer than Mace.
all right, that we could debate that, but
Fab is not nicer than Mace. That's a
Fab-
debate.
Fab's never given me a classic album.
Neither has Mace.
Nah,
Well,
Harlem World's considered a
I
classic.
don't care for
way.
Mace either,
Get the
though.
It is.
fuck
It is
outta here.
considered.
Harlem
classic
World
album.
is a classic
Not
album.
my
Come
favorite.
on,
on,
it's
D.
not, bro.
It is.
No.
Amongst a lot of
This is-
people, bro.
This is the first time in my entire life in 2019 that I heard anyone say Harlem World was a classic.
It's good.
Stop.
No,
It's a
I
good
remember,
album.
I'm not even
I
a
remember
big
my
Mace
boy
fan
Al.
like that, but
Yo,
it's considered crazy.
he called me while I was up in college. He called me when Harlem World came out, losing his mind.
He's bugging.
A lot of people feel that way, bro.
in pure quintessential Al form, like he just loses his mind about certain shit. And he called me and he was like, "Yo, this Harlem World album, oh my
Oh, who's that,
God,
Al?
So this dude,
yeah.
so the same Al who told me that
Shout
I'm
out
being
to Al.
local for loving and they got crazy for Mace in
Yes.
297. Get the fuck out of here, Al. Get out of here.
Fandom is
That's my
not
brother,
supposed to be logical.
Nah, but I never put. I was about to say Mace, Fab in that pedestal that y'all put him in. So it's like when he
That
drops
boy
a
is
project.
nice, though.
Fab has been one of the better
alright.
lyricists
Oh
in
my
hip hop for the
God.
last 20 years, bro.
Right, he's nice.
Easy.
He's nice, but he's never been. I don't know. He's never been on that like God MC level to me. You know what I mean?
You're a project
Alright,
dude, bro.
fair.
You need the whole I can respect someone's nice, even though like Jada. Jada doesn't have a classic album,
True.
but I still think he's one of the nicest dudes in the game.
I'm kind of surprised to hear Dini say that. I agree with it, but I never thought that I would hear
I
Dini
love
say
Jada,
that.
but I'm talking about when I say classic album, the way people resonate to that Mace album. I'm not a big Mace fan, but I've fought people verbally for this album, bro. People love that album, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's Bad Boy in its heyday, post Biggie. You know,
I mean,
People get-
Mace
people
was that
get
guy,
crazy.
bro, for a while. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
no, he was.
So back to this Fab project. I think there's a good, like you were saying, it's a good lane for him.
Great
I think.
lane.
You know what I mean?
Feed his family for the next year.
Yeah, I don't think he should try to, outbar Jada or whoever else. I think he should.
But he did on that album.
All right,
He did.
but I think I'm just saying I don't think that should be his lane. I don't think that's something that he's like at this point in his career. I think the thing that's worked the best for him and has been most lucrative for him has been songs about chicks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Relationships.
he found a lane and it worked.
Yeah.
But his biggest record was Breathe, and it wasn't about
I
chicks.
love that song.
That's his biggest
Yo,
record?
Breathe
I
is
wouldn't
like
say it's his
top-notch
You talking
biggest
lyrics.
about if you're
record.
counting the poppy
Well,
joints?
let me
The joint with Tamia?
Yeah.
now.
Trade it all?
Give me a second. Can I? Let me. What I'm trying to say is that when I say his biggest record, I'm talking about you can have a song with it, the chicks like it, it's a big thing, you get radio play. But like there could be a movie that comes out tomorrow and you might randomly hear Breathe playing
definitely.
in a promo for that
I
album.
100% agree. I
And that's
love that
when
song.
I say biggest, I mean like that. Like that record has got placements beyond the radio. You know what I mean?
This is true.
So I felt like when he gave us that, when Real Talk the album was coming out, people got excited. They was like, "Oh, Fab finally getting serious." But then we heard the record and it was like, "Oh, all right, it's same old Fab."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got a random thing that's
up?
gonna
But it's
derail
not
us.
really Fab's verse. It's just
Derail
really
us.
hooking us.
If you listen to Breathe, which I've said I loved a million times already, and listen to Lyrical Exercise by Jay-Z,
Same
Fab
format?
kind of stole the concept from Jay-Z.
Yeah, maybe. Didn't Just Blaze do Breathe?
Yep.
He did
Yeah.
both of those right
Oh, there you go.
It's a nice exercise for our
Yeah,
listeners.
it's the
workout
It happened to me the other day. I was like, wait a second, Fab stole, and he freaked it, but he stole it from Jay. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I mean, that's one of Jay-Z's most underrated records.
I
to
agree.
be
It
fair,
really
Lyrical
is. Yeah.
Exercise. And low key, since we off the rails, I'm gonna do it anyway. If you listen to Blueprint, is it Blueprint? No, Meet the Parents from Blueprint 2. It's almost the same beat as Lyrical Exercise. Like if you listen to it really closely,
Did Just Blaze
I'm
do
gonna
that?
have to go back.
go back and listen. It's just like Lyrical Exercise
Trying to
on
format it
Royce.
in my head.
Yeah. But so what do we think about the Fab tape? Besides Lang not being able to hear it, not his fault. It's a lot going on. But for you, out of 5, Summertime Shootout 3.
I'm going to give it a 3.5 because it's going to be everything I need for summertime.
It also dropped in like the wrong time of year. Like,
But he always does that. He drops it.
everything
Yeah.
heats up and resonates towards the summertime, so it
Yeah.
works out.
Yeah.
Dude knows what he's doing, bro. It's been working for the
Well,
last 15 years.
I think he just needs to just get super introspective one time.
Well, you don't think the one with the last song did that?
I'm talking about as for an album.
Copy.
Give us a whole project of what's his name? John Jackson. That's his name.
And I love Fab, but those albums as a whole, week, 7 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
As
why
a
I feel like
whole,
if
it's
you
that's a
better.
fact.
if you
That's
just
a fact.
get with your lyrical ability, and he's so clever that if you could find a way to add humor, because Fab is low key funny.
Fab is dope, bro.
if you could add a little humor and levity to the bullshit that he's gone through in his life,
what do you think is his best joint? Soul Tape,
so not the soul tape.
No, Ghetto
TNIC too.
Fabulous.
the Body series.
TNI, no, there is no competition too. That's his classic, and it was a mixtape. It wasn't an album.
Was that the funeral one?
Yeah.
That was. That's
Funeral
when it had
Fab.
Body.
That was-
Body.
yeah.
That was hard, bro.
When him and Red Cafe used to have a banger every year, you know.
Red
Shout out to Red
Cafe.
Cafe.
Fuck that
For me, the project, I'm gonna give it a 3.1 out of 5. It's paint by the numbers, fabulous. You're gonna get bars. You're gonna get the record for the ladies.
The anthems.
You're gonna get the anthems.
Get your hood joint.
You're gonna get the hood joints. But I just felt like I didn't want to hear the approach that he took from him at this point in his career. He could have made that album 5 years ago and it would have been the same shit. He could have made that project, 10 years ago, it'd have been the same shit. It's no growth.
It's resonating to really a lot of like Summertime too.
And the kids don't love Fab like that anyway. So it's like, who are you making this music for?
When you say kids, we're talking how old?
The teenagers, they're not checking for Fab. The early 20s.
Early 20s is checking for Fab
Not really,
still.
bro.
I mean, you
25.
know, you know the kids better than I do.
25, maybe
Word.
25.
Fab is a boomer now to these kids.
Fab like 40.
Yeah.
Yo, face. He's not that old.
Like, if
He's
you
a
say
boomer
27,
now,
I'm
bro.
thinking
He
like
came
the
out
20,
in
the
like what?
25
Like,
and under crowd? Yeah,
his
but like
at-
25
Yo, Fab
and
is
under?
only like 36 years
No,
old.
Fab is close to 40, bro.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought
Fab
he
is
was older
older
than
than me,
40.
bro.
Wow.
41, I thought.
Fab hit the mixtape circuit 20 years ago.
Yeah, but he
98.
was like 17.
Right. But then, what was it? Like 2 years later,
Yeah.
he came out with
Ghetto
his first
Fabulous
album.
was
Yeah.
his first album.
That, as a project, it wasn't a bad project.
It's not bad,
But when
but
you
it's just not
compare
what
it
I
to
want
the
from Fab.
tapes, the tapes are just so much better as a whole.
Yeah, I don't know. Like if I was expecting more, it's gonna sound fucked up. If I was expecting more from Fab, then I'd be upset. But I'm not.
Such a word.
But I'm not.
That can be considered an insult or a compliment, bro.
This has been what Fab has been
you know what
every
you're
single
getting.
time
you know
out.
What you're getting is still good. It just might not be.
It is what it is.
Yes. Like, you know
So Sin, what's your number for this project?
Like a 3.
3? All right. So now that we're here talking about albums, you know what I mean? 2019, as we said earlier, was, you know, low-key good year for rap. Maybe the sales weren't there. Maybe the poppy records weren't there. The mumbling wasn't there as much as it's been in the past. But for people like us who enjoy bars, this is the most rappiest album in about maybe 7, 8, 9 years.
We got Dave East, we got M.A.
In our 2019 year in review, I figured we would start with who had the best rap album, not Post Malone, of 2019.
Definitely not Post Malone.
Sincere, now you can lead off here as a rap snob. You can set the tone. Who had the best album in your opinion of the year?
Y'all probably want to leave me for last.
No.
Y'all gonna end up arguing about.
He's
that.
like, yo,
it better not
so the manager said your bad lead off. He was like, nah, I want to back clean up.
He about to go for that Boogie album.
The thing is, I want him to set the tone. Cause you think your take is gonna be bad? You're gonna be mad when I make my pick.
For me. For me.
Let me get ready. Let me get in my position.
For me, this is me, y'all. It's me. I think the best album this year was Little Brother.
Oh, all right. That's different from what I thought you was gonna say. That's actually not a terrible take.
May the Lord Watch is
look at the
an amazing album. Shout out to North Carolina. Look, I made a list.
North Carolina had a great
before
year.
coming over here. I sat down and I thought, what do I think are the 5 best albums of this year? 3 of them came out of North Carolina. Shout out to North Carolina. I don't know what y'all doing down there.
They did have a big year,
but
let's
y'all doing y'all thing.
Let's acknowledge
man.
North Carolina.
That's a fact. Yeah, that's. I mean, just quality bars. The beats sound fresh and inspired, but still, you know, like giving me that throwback to the classic hip hop eras. You know, it's a myriad of different topics that were covered in the album. And Fonte hasn't lost a step. A criminally underrated MC.
Sin, I'm with you. I'm not with these two, okay?
And Big Pooh came back super invigorated.
Big Pooh was amazing on this
album.
So
you and the 67 people who heard this album all thought it was.
Yes, and we are all right.
Y'all gotta respect
and
Little
we are
Brother,
all
man.
correct.
They put out a dope album this year.
It's better than the 3 people that heard it when we used that last time.
And another shout out to Fonte. Cause I don't know if I'm gonna switch gears for a little bit.
We just went 2 on 2 here. I don't know what happened.
That touched the soul, bro.
You know, all right. I'm gonna take this second to just say fuck y'all.
Hurry up! We don't care about Little Brother.
But anyway, my last point. Shout out to Fonte. Shout out to Fonte for not letting the bullshit ride. There was an article that was circulating the interwebs about how Drake invented or like popularized singing, and you know the singing rapper or whatever. When there's like countless other artists that have done it before. Drake got his style from Fonte. Don't y'all ever forget it. Shout out to Fonte, and he's admitted that himself. Now continue.
So, Little Brother's album was your pick for best album of 2019.
Absolutely.
Just to be clear.
Yes.
Langston.
Sin, good stuff.
He don't need your defense.
I want it on wax. I think you guys know what I'm gonna put out there, and I'm gonna rile up some people.
2 Chainz, I'm leaving.
Oh no, not 2 Chainz. Oh, it's up there though. No, I love Bandana by Freddie Gibbs and Madlib.
That's a worthy selection, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a worthy selection.
Not the snooze-worthy album that Sin picked, but yeah.
Did you hear it?
No,
exactly. So you have no idea.
I can go to sleep without any problems.
That's a worthy selection. That would have been in my top 3.
I think the production by Madlib on that album is nothing short of phenomenal.
Okay.
I think Freddie Gibbs, and we've talked a lot internally about Freddie Gibbs' prowess as an MC, and I just want to state for the record that I think Freddie Gibbs is one of the very best MCs alive. I think he's absolutely terrific. Not only is the album great sonically, it's great lyrically. There's a lot of layers to it in terms of content. Gibbs talks a lot about being locked up in a foreign country. He talks about getting a stripper pregnant. He talks his coke rap shit. We get a great guest verse from Pusha T.
Verse of the year.
I mean, to me, man, you know, I try not to throw the word classic
Oh
out.
God.
Yo, bro,
I mean,
it's a great
here's,
album.
here's what I'll say.
Let's show.
This is one of my favorite albums that has dropped in a long time. Like, if I'm talking about like the last few years, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, To Pimp a Butterfly. I gotta think more about it, but to me, Bandana's in that same list. So Bandana for me, man. I love the album.
Yo, between the two, y'all trying to kill me tonight. What's going on?
That company that you put it in, though.
Wow.
I don't listen. The smoke is still clearing. The smoke is still clearing. I'm just saying, that's how much I love the album.
That is super high praise.
All right, so when we say album of the year, would that be the album we listen to the most?
What do you think was the best album of this year? Not your personal favorite, but what you thought was the best overall project to be released in 2019.
I'm gonna catch hell for this, but yo, the Wizard project, bro. I'm gonna catch hell for this. But as far as replay, bro, applaud him. I listened to the album a lot, bro.
That's interesting.
For those of you that are not watching this on video and are listening to the podcast, I am vigorously shaking my head. Vigorously.
What?
It's just a fire album, bro. From top to bottom,
Killer Cam.
That's a fire ass song,
bro. The Wizard. Future, what up?
It's a fire album, bro.
I really like that album too.
It's a dope album to listen to, bro.
Dini for the win.
I'm sorry, bro. I've been knocking that so heavy this whole year, bro.
And then, you know, I was listening to it on the train. I had a little Future session on the train coming from work last week. And I'm like, yo, this guy, B.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. As far as listening to the Griselda album, it's up there for me because I'm just I'm loving that energy. I am, bro. I haven't had that kind of album. Because you know what it is? Like, here's the difference between me and Sin. Like, Sin will get that, and it like, for instance, like, it'll be from Little Brother. It might not hit me the same way, but it'll hit Sin. Like, those albums don't hit me the same way. This album hit me. I'm listening like, oh, these dudes just spin. So I really dug the album. Dave East album's not bad at all. Young M.A., I mean, The Baby. A lot of people had some good projects. Even Future even dropped 2. The second one was not a bad album either. I love Government Official. That's my shit. But I mean, as a total project, top to bottom, I listen to all the time. I don't have to be in a mood. I'd say that Future. I would have to be in a mood to listen to a Fonte Little Brother album, bro.
I'll never be in the mood.
Wow.
Don't get I'm trolling. There was a time when I was rocking Little Brother. Like, I think mid 2000. Wait, shut up.
I'm chopping that little snippet right there, and I'm gonna put that shit on loop.
Around
put that shit
around
on
mid
Instagram.
2000s. Who was their producer again around that time? Ninth Wonder. It was
Threats.
Ninth was on fire around that time, and they put out a project, and I was like, I want
The Minstrel Show.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
I'm loving you.
Yeah,
that was the Minstrel Show.
That was the first
really
record.
good album.
Yo,
I heard.
Did they have something to do with Slum Village? That's something. That's not them, right?
No.
Yeah, similar vibe, but not them. Yeah.
Around that time was when the Snap era was around.
Exactly.
And they were the balance that I needed to get
in the southern hip hop scene. Yeah.
They were the balance I needed at that time. You know what I mean? They made a great project, but all the same, if I'm being true to myself, I don't seek out Little Brother. You know what I mean? They don't give me that adrenaline boost that I need.
They're
you
in
know
that
what I mean?
Black Thought category with me.
They don't give me that feeling. That's all I'm saying.
But
I'm sorry,
I don't check
Sin.
for them on a regular.
They don't do it for me. The same way Future doesn't do it for you. Future does it for me and Dini, okay?
Future.
All right, so for me, my choice, and it's been a lot of albums, Future's up there for me, but he's not my choice. But for me, in an ironic twist of events, because 10, 12 years ago, this would have never come out of my mouth. The best cohesive overall body of work in 2019, in my opinion, came from Joseph Guillermo Jones out of Harlem, New York.
Oh, wow.
That album.
The Capo joint?
Yes. For me, that album front to back.
It's solid. It's a solid album.
I'm looking forward to his next album coming out pretty soon before the year is out. For me, that Jim Jones album was a person who took the time and crafted a project. Didn't give you just 19, 20 tracks or just tracks. It had a front, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I dug the project. Close second was that Schoolboy project for me. It got fronted on a lot by a lot of people.
Keep it a buck. Even my son, what's his name, could go up there. Not really a hip hop album, but Tyler. That album was heat too.
I wanted to put it in my top 5, but
not hip hoppy enough for you.
It's like when I went back to listen to it, and I was like, nah, this would be like putting It would be similar to putting Post Malone in.
Oh, don't disrespect.
No, not as a disrespect to Tyler. I'm just saying, like, it's not
singing vibes and all.
Yeah, it's strayed too far away from. No disrespect. It's a fire album.
Getting too far off the rails.
It's definitely better than anything Post Malone can do.
I get what you guys are saying about the ambiguousness of how we classify Tyler's album. To me, though, listening to that, it's a hip hop album. And I get why people say it's not. I'm willing to classify it as a hip hop album, but I'm sorry, Jarv.
I mean, he is hip hop.
He is, yeah.
But it wasn't a rap album.
It wasn't a rap album. It was a hip hop album.
All right, so let's go the other way now. Most disappointing album of 2019.
Man, this is gonna be bad.
This is where people get upset because sometimes we upset sensibilities. You might like that rabbit we're talking about. But most disappointing album. Started with you, Lane.
All right, man, some guys at this table,
here we go,
my left and right are gonna hate me. I think it's Nas, man.
The
Lost Tapes, like it was okay.
Come on.
Yeah, I was let down by the Lost Tapes.
Most disappointing album of the year.
I'm not saying it was
you
the.
applaud this?
Listen, I'm not.
He does.
Time out. Wait. Stop the tape. Weren't you fighting us on our graves with a Lost Tape like 3 episodes ago?
I'm saying it was the most disappointing. I'm not saying it was the worst.
Okay.
But I had the highest expectations.
All right.
And I got what was an above average rap album. It was nothing that's moving the needle at all.
Not at all.
I still love the album.
Not at all, Sin.
Guys, this is
still love the album.
This is a guy who might be the greatest of all time.
Yeah, man.
And he put out an album that was, kind of nice for guys who already like Nas.
The needle is overrated.
4.
And can I just throw this out there? Might be back-to-back years that Nas has put out the most disappointing project of the year.
What the hell are you talking about? What was that?
The one that Kanye did the beats for. Yeah, it was a little dry.
I'm just saying, Nas. Hey, we love you, big homie.
I feel like the beats.
It's time for you to come through for us. We go to bat for you all the time. It's time to come with that heat, man. We've seen it. We saw it last year with Echo on Swiss's album.
Speak for yourself.
We saw it this year on Davies.
Was Lil Wayne's album this year?
That was last year.
Oh, okay.
I like that album.
Okay, just making sure.
Anyway,
has Lil Wayne ever done anything that you don't like?
Of course he has.
Like what? What?
Like I didn't like.
What was that album that project that you tried to go rock?
Oh, Rebirth or something.
Rebirth.
Oh, I didn't like that album.
All right, I'm just checking. Okay.
Anyway, I spoke my.
Whatever happened to that dude?
To who?
Let it rock. Let it rock.
All right, most disappointing album, Dini. Come on.
Damn, most disappointing.
I don't even know who that artist's name was, but I know the song.
His name too. The guitar kid.
It was on every video game at one point.
There you go. So I'm sure you still get a check. Damn, most disappointing. Damn, I can't say it's disappointing because I ain't expect much from it. But
have you thought about this at all, Dini? I'm sorry, I was
2 Chainz.
2 Chainz. You so that implies that you went into that album with high expectations.
I wouldn't say high. I expected something way better than I got though.
You didn't like the album,
considering the promo it got and the LeBron affiliation. Yeah,
that's the only reason Jarv hates that album. Is because LeBron got an A&R credit. And LeBron probably sat in one session and was just like, "Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you an A&R credit. Just sit here. If you like something, let me know."
Trash,
it was not trash. It was a really good album.
What's the name of that last album? The one that had the trap girls.
Pretty Girls Love Trap
That had
Music.
some joints. You know what I'm saying? But
Vibe is on my list. It's a vibe. It was fire.
Anyway,
Rapper Go to the League was garbage. He didn't make it to the league.
Dryden
He wasn't even good at rapping. It was bad.
We can agree to disagree.
Oh, man, please. Sincere. Most disappointing album.
Personally,
Rap will go to the league.
I don't know. It's a tough question because there's certain artists that like the way you guys put Fab and expect something out of Fab.
Oh
like
boy.
a certain
Damn,
level of
the disdain in your tone.
No,
I'm
I'm
just
just
there are certain
yeah,
artists that are actually good that
no,
I like.
there's certain artists that you just personally put up on a bit of a pedestal,
Yeah.
and you know you look for them to deliver something, whether you know they're actually going to do it or not.
Whether capable.
Right. So for me, right, there's a couple of artists that are like that. Still to this day. To this day. Damn, we need that drop. One is Common. Common is like I hold him, in a certain light as a.
I like Common.
But nah, the album he put out this year, like that was a snooze fest.
It was so
you're not-
snoozeworthy that nobody knew it came out except
Yo.
this guy.
I love Common. Like,
Stick to
what?
books.
Nobody knew, bro.
What happened?
Stick to acting and
Stick
writing
to your
books.
poor acting.
Yeah, he's not a very good actor.
He's not a very good at anything these days. But carry
I
on.
liked him in that
son.
John Wick joint.
Yeah, because he didn't have to act much. Monotone voice, no facial expressions,
Little
just
martial
fight.
arts.
Little martial arts. But Common's out. Can we pick an album that people actually know about? You know,
I mean, if that, if we really need to, do that, then it would have to be Kanye.
okay, I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah.
Smoking.
Yeah.
Close on
but I
Sunday.
wasn't. That's the thing, though. I wasn't. I'm throwing Kanye out there because it has to, as Jarv says, it has to be like a name that people recognize.
Yeah,
like
not-
people don't recognize Common. Come on.
But no one knew the
recognize-
album came out. It can't.
bugging.
This, how can something that if a tree falls and no one's around to hear it doesn't make a sound?
It's
be a
really
disappointment.
That's a Nas line. Hey, John just quoted Nas.
Shout out to Escobar.
My thing with the Kanye is like we all knew what that album was gonna be. However you feel about it, it kind of was
Exactly.
what we were expecting.
Exactly.
So to
So-
say it was disappointing,
Right.
like, not
that's
really.
why. That's
Again,
why it wasn't my first choice.
Kanye is his son who disappoints him.
son.
Not the begotten. What is it? The prodigal son. that for Kanye, that's Sin's relationship with him. He wants
man.
Kanye. He
Love,
wants
hate.
Kanye to make fire, and when he doesn't, it's always going to be disappointment. Is that a fair assessment?
It's never gonna happen again. I'm okay with that.
I'm sure it is.
Nah.
For me, my most disappointing album is more of a personal one for me. It's Rick Ross, Port of Miami 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
It
up
didn't-
there.
It didn't.
Wow.
It
It's up there.
It didn't do it for me, man.
We thought we was gonna get flames
We spoke about this over the summer.
in the park.
Port of Miami 2 was like the way
I
the
was
pro.
fine with it.
Jesus Christ,
The
man.
promo, the promo, the build up, the who's producing, the who's on it, and I just felt like I was waiting for something to happen. And like we said when we talked about it in the past, the album didn't pick up until the last like 4
3
songs.
songs, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like where was this in the beginning? Where was this in the middle? Why am I getting all the good stuff at the end? So for me, and considering what his last project, Rather You Than Me, what it was and how fire it was, I felt like, whoa, this ain't it. Port of Miami 2 deserves to be like heralded. You know, like this was one of the best albums 2019. That album came and went just as fast as Rapid Go to the League came and went. But by the time it dropped, it was already out of the news cycle, bro. He did his media promo, he did his run, he did his little quotables and things of that nature. Where the visuals at? No more videos came out.
Yeah, it wasn't a good year. Wasn't a good year for sequels.
Not at all.
Also,
Not at all.
also that Maybach music was weak.
I like
Yeah.
that
Well,
song.
without Pusha on it.
Yeah, and then you took the best thing on your album and you
in
took it off.
comparison, yeah, weak.
Nah, I mean,
'Cause that
I wouldn't
Lil
even.
Wayne
No, I
verse
wouldn't
was
even say
trash.
music. No, the what was trash?
Lil Wayne verse was trash.
Oh, the Lil Wayne verse was trash. The beat, I thought the beat was set up beautifully.
Yeah.
John Legend
um,
Black.
Yeah,
But John Legend never fails when it comes to him and Ross. He always comes through.
this is true. Yeah, no, but Pusha needed to be on that record. And
Damn
then
sure did. Anybody
pop-
did.
Push is really the rap boogeyman, ain't he? Because
Yeah.
his verses really compromises relationships.
That's a fact.
Well, it did in this instance, for sure.
Can't really work with the guy if he's out here dissing Drake and Wayne and everybody else involved.
Yeah, I mean that's something that's been boiling for years now. You know, there's some bad blood there.
Yeah, agreed. 2019 year in review. I'll give you guys the option right now. This topic right here is biggest surprise or best breakout or biggest fall off. Y'all want to go positive or negative?
Well, best breakout, we're all going to be in agreement, right? That to me is a no-brainer.
Talk to us.
Well, it's the baby.
You got the ball, bro. Score.
I mean, guys, the guy put out 2 projects. However you feel about how repetitive he is or whatever else, like he's... I mean, we're talking about him because I brought him up, but we've talked about him several times this year on episodes.
We have.
He's been probably the most talked about hip hop artist of the year.
Okay.
I mean, am I wrong?
Nah,
Dini?
point.
Best breakout?
I'd say so. I mean, who else had that kind of rise over the year?
So Megan don't count?
Nah, Megan is she counts.
Megan don't count. She a rapper.
You think Megan's
Yeah,
higher
for
than the
sure.
baby
She
right
got
now?
She got a lot of other
She can
stuff
rap.
too.
She can rap.
She can rap. That's what it was.
Yeah, no, Megan counts. I wouldn't put her above the baby.
I
Though.
wouldn't put it either.
Sin.
You know what? Fuck
Megan's
y'all.
a bigger star than the baby right now. But
You got serious.
Biggest breakout, Griselda. I'm doing it.
I'm gonna let you be great.
I'm doing it.
You think so?
You think the streets are gonna fuck with this the way we? I mean,
I'm just going like on a personal level. Obviously, if we're talking about like, you know, the limelight, the radio play,
breakout.
You know, if we going like fully objective, I mean, it's either the baby or Megan. If I had to choose between those two, I think I would actually go Megan.
Okay.
Wow,
I would go Megan.
Okay.
Just because I feel like she's more places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's got more eyes on her.
You know what?
I don't think that's true.
Carry on, Sin.
But but on a personal on a personal level.
Oh my goodness!
And because I've seen the movement, like I've been witnessing the movement for years. Griselda just bubbling and hustling and putting out like countless projects every single year, mixtape after mixtape after mixtape. For their shady debut as a collective to make its debut today on the day that we record, and for it to be fire the way it is, and for them to not compromise their sound, I think it's something that we should recognize, right? So I'm gonna go.
That's a very compelling case.
Yes.
This is my second favorite beat of the year.
I was about to say
done.
this should have speaking
Yo,
to
let
my
me get that.
sensibilities right now.
But for me, the biggest breakout, I'm gonna go. But before I say that, it's the first time in a long time in hip hop where we had breakout stars, whether we liked the rapping or not, was based on them rapping. It wasn't no sing-songy. No gimmick.
This is very true. This is very true.
Megan might not be super nice, but she was rapping. You dig what I'm saying?
She got bars.
And the baby's super nice.
The knees of steel don't hurt either, though.
Right.
Easy.
But to be fair, I got on Megan before she took her clothes off.
You did.
You know what I mean?
That's very true. You hit us in the group chat with like, I think it was like a freestyle, like a her in the car and
Doesn't
shit.
hurt though, girl.
Oh, them yeeks. It is what it is.
Lord.
I forgot this dude Didi singing.
God is good.
But I'm gonna say that she had the bigger breakout than the baby. I mean, put it this way:
She has been a lot of places.
If out of 100, it's like 52-48, 51-49. I just felt like while the baby was on the radio a lot, that's what makes it makes it compelling. You couldn't escape Suge this year. That record was unstoppable, you know. But as far as placements, Megan led the news cycle repeatedly. Even if it was just a video of her throwing her ass, you were seeing it everywhere. We know what every part of Megan body looks like.
Working those abominable knees.
She added an award show. She's here, she's there, getting features. You know what I mean? She's fake dating Moneybag Yo.
You know vibe. You seen the Trey Songz vibe?
Yeah,
Trey
I think she's with
Songz
Trey
now.
Songz now. I don't know.
She had a few records,
Her
got
best
that
life.
her and Nicki twerking, or at least Nicki trying to twerk while Megan
That was
twerking.
that was one of the great moments of 2019. Was her and Nicki twerking together. I mean, I know I'm not wrong.
It was also a bit contrived because then we never heard from them
I don't
like
give a
doing
fuck,
anything
man.
together
Yeah, it didn't
again
work.
after that.
Well, you know, it's still
Come
time.
out of
That's
that.
why-
That's
blame
why
Nicki.
they cooking up.
That's
blame
why
Nicki.
her and Moneybag Yo broke up, because the record didn't hit. You know what I'm saying? If the record hit, the relationship exists. If the record don't hit, the relationship dies.
That's
Okay.
why you should never date coworkers.
Hey, you know, how about that? So, but for me, it's like by a light margin, Megan Thee Stallion biggest breakout star of 2019. Shout out to the baby. But my question for them is, going forward, where do they go? Are they going to be around the same energy in 2020, or will they fade away? I guess time will tell. Do you think they have staying power?
I mean, it's ultimately up to them.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, yeah, they're both talented artists.
Yeah, I agree. I guess the records will decide.
Yeah.
I think they're both the baby and Megan are likable enough.
Yeah, they haven't alienated the fans the way Nicki Minaj did.
Yeah, people love them.
And I love Nicki,
And they
but
got music together.
she was annoying.
They can make more music together now.
Oh, maybe I guess we waiting for that Megan and Cardi record mix. And to think about it, we all year long we didn't get the baby and Drake yet. That's gonna be a big fucking deal when it happens.
You kidding?
Yo, when all the females in hip hop start getting along the way they're supposed to, it's all been Nicki Minaj fault, bro. I'm telling you right now, because I mean, Nicki Minaj and I don't know what's going on. Anybody doing anything with Rhapsody? Nobody, y'all don't be listening to Rhapsody. What's up with that?
We're talking about 2019. We should bring up the fact that
fire.
Rhapsody dropped a fire album.
And was
One of the
absolutely
best intros
snubbed
I've
for the
probably ever heard.
Grammys.
Oh, yo,
Like-
we talking about the Grammys? Because that's a whole different
Got the
topic,
ginger
bro.
ale?
Huh?
It is. And we'll talk about the Grammys at some point.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that. This thing is, I learned a lot recently about what the Grammys really is.
It's bullshit.
And you shouldn't.
Y'all watched it?
No, it ain't
won't
happened yet.
Come on, till
We
The nominees came.
we shouldn't take their nominations too seriously, but we'll get into
course
that in 2020.
I mean, Macklemore beat out Kendrick Lamar for Rap Album of the Year.
But-
My sentiment is exactly.
Guys,
we
come
will
on.
get. We will
that
get
was for which
there.
album again?
Good Kid, Mad City.
But,
Yeah.
but here's my thing. Like, I feel like the Rhapsody album was like tailor made on paper, right? Even if you don't listen to it, if the Grammys is trying to like be more relevant,
Right, more inclusive.
more
right,
inclusive
yeah.
and stuff like that, it's a black, empowering
It was-
female.
right, yeah.
Like,
Not getting naked.
come on, bro. Like,
It's almost too
As
easy.
sharp as
it's
sharp
and
can be.
they fumbled it. Like, how do you? Anyway, go ahead.
I don't think they. This is what I'm saying. Remember this take that you gave, because I learned something. Like I said, this is for the future. Don't worry about the Grammys. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I
Details at
100%
11.
agree.
Nas
yes,
has
yes.
no Grammys. Just let that sink in.
Nas does not have a single Grammy. What does that tell you about that
He didn't deserve
establishment?
any, but you know.
Oh, God, he's trolling. He's trolling. He doesn't mean
Where's the
that. He's
Hit
trolling.
the boo. Boo this
Why
man.
should I get booed? Why should I get booed? Fine, I'll boo myself.
Oh wow, that was a character move, Jaw. Booing yourself.
Hey, you know, he didn't deserve it. But
Ugh.
what about the fall offs? Who had the biggest fall off of 2019? My response will shock you, but who wants to take that?
I think-
Should I start for a change?
I think
proceed.
I think by default, Kendrick.
No,
Just because he,
Hey,
just
hey,
because he,
y'all
just
better
because
watch
he,
out now. The 5-foot
Just
giant is
because-
cooking up in his cave.
yeah, just because he's been absolutely MIA.
What
Like,
the fuck are you talking about, man?
no.
all right,
See, when he drop a
He's trying
single
to wake
tomorrow,
up the sleeping giant.
y'all better hope he don't drop a single before this episode
yeah,
comes out.
don't let people
sit.
forget you,
So
Kendrick.
because who's gonna when he drops, he drops. He's on that level.
Yeah, of course.
He's the greatest rapper
You're just
alive.
mad he didn't drop this year. That's what
He
this
just gonna
is.
throw you one. You
that
never
is
know.
what it is.
Yeah, it's still up.
All right,
yeah,
so-
it ain't up yet.
For I and I myself, the biggest fall off is a person that I've caught a lot of flack for supporting on this show. It's that guy from Detroit, Big Sean.
Ooh,
He dropped a couple of records late summer, and I swear nobody gave a fuck. And I'm not trying to shit on him because I love Big Sean. I am the resident Big Sean fan. All right, Dini. I am the resident Big Sean fan at this table. And I felt like he dropped the record with the Hovey Baby sample. I don't know if you even heard it, Sin. You probably even hear the shit.
Probably, it's not on
there
my
you go. He dropped it. No one cared. He debuted the record. He dropped another record that day.
No, they were talking about something he dropped with Janae Aiko. That was a big deal the other
Well,
day.
yeah, because he said
Hold
in this
on.
rap, like, he made her come 9 times.
Yeah, but that was a Janae record.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He dropped a 2-pack that nobody cared about. And then it was 2 songs. It was 2-pack. Did he chill?
It's almost like he's a whack MC that nobody gives a shit
And
about.
then he debuted. And then for some strange reason,
damn near, right?
he debuted a song with A$AP Ferg at the VMAs where it's a song that you don't. If people are hearing it for the first time, you don't perform it because it was like a lot of fast rapping, double time flow, and it's like you might want people to hear that on wax before you perform it, and the mics are so loud that you can't even hear the lyrics well. I feel like Big Sean, where he was when Dark Sky Paradise dropped, he's like completely the opposite of where he was. He was on the cusp of being next to Cole and Drake, and he was right there.
Wait, Dark Sky Paradise. That was Big Sean album, I assume.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I don't know nothing about.
Wow,
I don't know nothing about.
You know that.
All I know is finally famous. That's all I know.
I just need to make it clear because I don't, you know. I don't know
He
nothing
got
about
me.
this.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. He got me. But I feel like he dropped that stupid ass Metro tape garbage. The Janae collab project was fire, but it just feels like he's going in the wrong direction. And I feel like he's had the biggest fall off of 2019 because I think now he's a nobody cares rapper. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. Damn, nobody got nothing to say. Damn.
I didn't give this topic enough thought, to be quite honest. But I'm willing to side with Jarv. I feel like Jarv has finally come around.
I didn't either. That's why I just no. If I really think about it though, Nicki.
Ooh. Interesting.
Nicki has
That was number 2 on my list.
her whole wave has just shifted.
You know what's funny? But I
Missy Elliott.
was in front of that 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So you laughing?
No, but
when I said Nicki was
she was
canceled,
canceled. I didn't
I
believe
was
it.
like, no. I'm like, she's canceled.
That really happened.
All I said that she gotta do is drop a record. She dropped ding 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 ding. She dropped that joint. What's the name of that record again?
I forgot.
It's better when we drink.
That's it.
It was cool.
I mean, she dropped that.
She dropped Hot Girl Summer. I thought that
Yeah.
was a vibe
Trash.
to You bugging. That record was hard.
Hot Girl Summer was fire.
For what it's
For
supposed
like
to do,
a second, it was weak, bro.
but it did what it was supposed to do.
What did it do?
It rocked out in the clubs and all
What
that.
club?
Bro, every time we
What
went out, they
club?
played it, bro. Stop it.
Bro,
They
that-
Yo,
played it
Jarv,
several
we
times.
know you ain't been in the club in like a year, so quit fronting, alright?
Yo.
What club?
If it was in the club, it would have stayed on the radio.
See,
been
look
on the
at
radio
him
for
coming,
months.
please.
But
I
she
want to
dropped
know.
That song was out of rotation
She done
within
dropped it in the
seconds.
I don't know
summer, bro.
about that. I'm just
Bro,
saying.
I'm in the car every day. I listen to the
She dropped
radio.
the summer record in the fall, bro.
No
Yeah,
one gave a fuck.
That was hard for a little while, bro. It was hard
No,
for
it
a while.
wasn't.
For
A
little
week?
while. Nah, it was for like a couple months.
Stop. Son, you dragging it, bro. You dragging it.
Get a month that I had.
Nah, it wasn't it, bro.
It
That-
was there, mo.
All right, 2 months, fine.
2 months.
But it wasn't on nobody charts.
Half
It wasn't.
a summer.
It wasn't on nobody list.
I think it's a good song.
It's a big
I like the song.
Garbage, bro.
Joints go
Garbage,
crazy
oh
when they
shit.
hear that song.
It sounded like a paint by the number. How do you
good
fuck up using
song?
Ty Dolla $ign? Like, how do you fuck that up?
Yeah.
Ty Dolla $ign is a cheat code.
Not
and
easy
they
to
fucked
do.
that up. It was
Yeah.
weak. It sounded like a fucking BET commercial in '97. It was garbage.
But it did what it was supposed to do.
Realize man's gonna fuck by the neck.
They'll
What
be
the
able to
fuck is that?
perform that song for a long time to come.
That song is already forgotten about, bro.
No way, bro.
What do you mean?
No way, bro.
Stop. So no one's playing that record right now,
Bro,
bro.
in the spot, they gonna play that record, bro.
No, they're not.
It's a
bro.
huge
They
record.
play Cardi before they play that, son.
They'll play-
And Cardi ain't dropped a song of her own all
Yeah,
year.
what about Cardi? We ain't heard a peep out of her except if it's in a fucking Pepsi
Nah,
commercial.
yeah. I mean, she's popping on the, the endorsement.
It
side
seems
of
to
things.
me like she's branching out.
She's-
We might never hear
she's-
another album from her ever again.
And she was
about
also
her
on that
bag.
Khaled
And Douchey
album,
Drugs is
and
looking
that
for
that resonated.
Khaled, okay.
So if you make it onto a Khaled album and
As
that
much as you don't
resonates,
like
then-
that Fat Joe record, it's getting rotate. It's getting more spins than Hot Girl Summer.
Which one?
That Fat Joe,
Joe
and Cardi B
Cardi.
record.
Oh.
Yeah,
Who else is on that again? Somebody else?
some Spanish rapper.
Oh, yeah.
I've not heard that record.
That's a new cheat code, man. You make a song for
people.
Dykeman.
Yeah, a
You know
people.
what I mean?
Essentially.
Yo,
You know
shout
what I
to
mean?
Oaktown.
Nah, but the song is getting spins, bro.
Of course it is. That's like 70 million people,
But
bro.
it's not, I'm talking about
70 million.
It's made for them. It's Taylor cut, bro. Come on.
what I'm saying is that song has stuck around more than Hot Girl Summer has, bro. I asked y'all about that song like a month
I
ago.
make my rounds. Everywhere I go, I hear that song, bro.
Yo, nigga, Fat Joe always give you that record, bro.
Lean back is still everything, bro.
Hey, y'all fronting. You just don't want to admit Nicki's done it. I'm the biggest Nicki fan at the table.
That's a
And I'm
fact.
telling you, she's cooked, bro.
I always feel like nobody's done. You're always one hit away.
Nah, she's cooked, bro, because she's turned people off, son.
Always
It's not
one
about the
hit
music
away.
anymore, son. It's her. She's
Bad
annoying.
vibes.
You know what I mean? All right, so Any surprises from the year? Anything that caught your attention? Oh, I didn't expect that. No, see, no.
I mean, on a serious note, I think if we're talking about the year in review, we need to bring up the tragic passing of Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, of course.
You know that. What
that's
can
just
you even say?
that shit still hurts, B. It still hurts. You know what I mean?
Shout out Nip.
It's tough talking about something like that and bringing it back up after almost a year. You know, because you want to be able to move on, but like,
it's not really any moving on.
Yeah,
per se.
you know what I mean. And matter of fact, I just heard a verse from him on the game project, which we also dropped today. That where he was talking about like I'll probably die on the street or something like that. It was some alluding to like some type of prophetic feeling that he was going to be taken out on the street level, helping his community and stuff like that. It's just
I was watching Wrath of Kane the other day, bro. So, dude is a good actor too. Dude had good chops, man.
Yeah,
good
man.
energy. Him and Ving Rhames is the night.
I was listening to Victory Lap the other day, and it was, you know what Victory Lap makes me feel like, and I don't want this to sound cloudy or anything, because the game out here cloud chasing the passing of Nipsey Hussle. I said what I said, but I really felt listening to Victory Lap, it kind of made me feel like reasonable, like, and what I mean when I say that is, when we got Reasonable in '96, maybe we didn't realize it at the time, but we literally got what the hell what was going on with Jay-Z, right. Sean Carter. At that time, that album came out. Whatever his life was up until that point was on that album. That's why I felt like how it felt. Like it was really ground level reporting of outside at the highest level. And when I listen to Victory Lap, it gives me that same vibe. Like that was really whatever Nip was dealing with in that moment of his life was Victory Lap. Bro. You know what I'm saying?
And then you also
it was it not introspective in a sense, but it was
it was vision.
It was him. You know what I mean?
You see the vision.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like Reasonable Doubt, like the vision that he had, we couldn't comprehend at that time.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't until like the shit unfolded that you go back and you're like, oh shit! Like he saw it.
Nip laid the whole shit out while still giving you Zenith. A ground zero level of LA. You know what I'm saying? A crib in LA was what Victory Lab was, with a vision and a plan for more. It's really shitty. Like we talked about it in the past. It was like I knew who Nipsey Hussle was more about his hustle, more so than his music. And then when the notoriety caught up with the music, it was like, whoa, this guy's all right. Because I keep it 100 because that's what we do here. When Victory Lap first came out, I was like, whatever, I'll get to it. Y'all asked me mad times if I listened to that Nipsey album. I was like, no. Then when I finally listened to it, I'm like, oh. Because I couldn't understand why y'all liked it so much. I won't lie to y'all. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's kind of crazy how nice he was. Like, because so much of his persona was about what he was doing in the community and so on and so forth. But, like, he was mad nice. And it took so long for him to, like...
And he wasn't intricate. It was, like, real shit. It was simple.
Yeah, it was real shit. Yeah.
Kind of like how Prodigy was.
Yeah, kind of.
It was simple, but it was hard-hitting.
Like a West Coast Prodigy.
Wow.
I feel like feel a vibe right now.
Cause y'all know I love P, bro. That's my guy, and I never thought of it that way.
Bandana P, bro.
Kind of look alike.
Definitely a Prodigy vibe as far as the flow ain't gonna be nothing too crazy.
When you getting those hood jewels through a story, you like, oh, like the words are not super intricate.
Even on the intro, every time I hear it, the fuck I need to hear your CD for? Like that shit resonates with me. Cause it's like I'm doing all of this shit. I don't need to hear your shit unless you on that same type of time as me. That's how I feel about life in general. If you're not on the same time I'm on right now, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I don't have time to waste.
Right.
Yo, let's have a drink to Nipsey Hussle, man.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. for you giving a bunch of strangers a reason to vibe out, man. Yo, fucking blessing, man. We love you.
Definitely a loss and the biggest surprise of 2019.
Like fucking rap.
Shout out to Baylor, because Baylor was the first one who was like, he was on Twitter really like reacting as it happened. He knew before we all knew that it was really a rap.
I mean, we were talking about it in the group chat. You remember that? Fucked up.
Damn, B. All right, so let's bring it back positive now, or controversial, depending on however you want to take it. Right? Actually, you know what? I had a surprise B on it. I didn't expect you to go Nip, but the surprise, the biggest surprise that I had, it kind of started last year. And it spilled into this year with Drake making up with Meek Mill, and then
that's a good one.
And then making up with Chris Brown. and make it arguably the best song of the year. No
Yeah.
Guidance. I'm finding a difficult time finding a record better than that one. So shout out to Drake.
Heat is close. Heat is close.
Yeah.
That might be one of the 2 best back-to-back joints in a long time.
I feel like Drake is really like he's become like a master politician. He's created beefs. He's made up with these people who wanted his head, and he found a way to stay very relevant without dropping no album in 2019. So shout out to Drake. I would have never thought that a Breezy and Drake record would ever happen.
From a bottle to the head, bro.
And did brawl it in the club.
See that gash on Chris Brown's head?
Damn.
I was
to making a banger. But sometimes when guys like Nas and Jay-Z, they got together, they can't make a hit together to save their lives. Drake and Chris Brown got together and made the biggest record of the year outside of Old Town Road. Imagine that.
No Guidance is huge.
No Guidance is huge.
I don't like Chris Brown. Fuck him.
Okay. 2019 rap MVP. Sincere, you pick first.
Rap MVP for me. Oh man. Off the top, I'm gonna give it to Rhapsody.
Wow. Okay.
This guy.
Album was hard. She was rapping, man.
I mean, go ahead, Sin. Make the case.
Make the case. She's
no case.
So in my top 5 albums of the year, Lil Brother was 1, but they're a group. Rhapsody was 2, and so just by default,
NC.
you know what I mean? She's she's the only soloist. She's the highest soloist on my list. So
Rhapsody.
it is what it is.
2019 MVP.
Listen,
Rhapsody.
Look, well, I'm going personal, man. I'm like, you know what I mean? I want to promote the stuff that I want to see more of in 2020. You know what I mean? She's 1, right? Let's bring some light to the females, because the women in hip hop have been killing it this year.
Vibing.
Right? From all angles. Rhapsody, Young M.A., even Megan. I'm not a big Megan fan, but she's killing it out here.
No love for Cardi?
I mean, but 2019 she hasn't really done much this year. So
I mean, but you still listen to
Features?
2018 Cardi.
come on, man, get out.
You know you do. You still listen to Bodak Yellow.
Y'all the worst, man. I hate y'all.
Motorsport, you probably know that verse word for word.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Boo this man. Nah, but I mean, again, like, no, let me get my point out, son. Anyway, Rhapsody's album, front to back, just like the vision of it, the bars, the production, the empowerment, the messages, everything, man. Like, to me, you know what I mean? She did her thing, so I'm gonna give it to her.
Deanie, 2019 hip hop rap MVP.
MVP?
Put the team on his back or her back and shut it down for the year.
I gotta give it to the baby, man. Ooh. Kid's been everywhere, doing everything. Just cleaning up, bro. Classic hood dude, too. That's the thing about it. He's the classic street dude doing this. We haven't had a real street dude at the forefront for a long time, bro. Everybody's been wearing dresses and stuff.
You right.
This dude is as hood as hood gets, so it's good to see somebody from the hood at the top.
Even though the albums, his
album is
album's
all right,
underwhelming.
but his features been cooking though.
True.
He's been everywhere on the features. The joint with he's on the best album of the year. You know what I'm saying? What a dope feature, Frenemies. You know what I'm saying?
That was the best album of the year,
wasn't it? The Post Malone album.
That was the best album. Oh, you talking about the AMA?
Yeah, whatever.
I was talking about what we said.
So essentially, he's a part of the best. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the big deal.
I respect that. What about you, Lang?
Man, it's a tough question. I think I agree with Deanie. I mean, for all the reasons that he mentioned. I disagree with the notion, and Jarv, you mentioned it, but you're not the only one. The idea that his album was underwhelming. I feel like he looks the part, he sounds the part. I think he's the next great rap star.
Okay.
And I think he's the MVP. We've talked about it on the show before, and I still believe it. I mean, you know, he's got superstar written all over him.
Okay.
Oh, that's Mellow Lang right there too. I don't know if y'all noticed. That's Mellow Lang.
My hand slipped on the come on song. Disregard that. All right. Well, so Rhapsody, The baby. So North Carolina, so far, is bringing the MVP home for hip hop.
Give us your star.
Well, for me, I'm sorry, guys.
Megan.
I'm sorry, but much like the NBA championship, the MVP is remaining in Canada.
Drakington.
Drake is still the
Drake?
MVP.
What?
Drake?
What did Drake do? Drake didn't do a damn
Yeah,
thing
but
this
the
year.
music,
He
though.
put out 2 songs after
stayed
the
relevant.
Raptors won it. What the fuck? What is this? This is bullshit.
Still stay relevant.
Yo, I feel attacked. Drake is the MVP.
Man,
Well, can I finish? I'll let y'all talk. Can I finish?
Proceed.
I feel like I may have exploded. I'm sorry.
While
Pause.
there was no album from Aubrey, my argument is he had damn near, outside of the baby, the big records came from Aubrey. The
No guidance.
wait, hold on, I'm gonna get there.
Talk to me.
The joint for Meek on Championships last year is still in rotation.
That was
It
last year.
My sentiments, and it's still in rotation in December 2019.
Okay.
At one point was the #1 record.
Okay.
Money in the Grave with Rick Ross. #1 record.
You're right. You're
No
right.
guidance. Humongous hit. Outside of what the baby did, some of the biggest records came from Drake.
That is a fair point. Like
So-
Drake, even in hibernation, is still.
And I
Like,
know
yeah.
I'm forgetting records.
Yeah.
So as much as I'm not a Drake fan, if we just talking about presence, while he didn't give you an album, you did not forget who he was. Massive smashes. Money in the Grave is, according to the DJs, the biggest record in the club right now is Money in the Grave.
Word?
Yes. I've heard multiple DJs say this across multiple stations. When that record comes on,
Shit knocks. Don't get me wrong.
shit shut
I'm
down.
Shocked of all
So that's
songs.
the biggest record in the club. Yeah.
Should we mention the fact that Drake vacated the stage because he wasn't feeling the vibe he was getting from the crowd at Tyler's show?
It wasn't Tyler. It was
It was Tyler's show.
It was Tyler's show.
Camp
They
Cloud
thought they was
Cloud
getting
or
Frank
something.
because
Ocean.
they wanted to see Frank Ocean.
Yeah.
It's not his fault that there was a
But
certain
I've
crowd
never-
there
I've
for
never
a
seen
certain
that, though.
vibe.
But I've
and
never
Aubrey
seen
was
that
there.
I
before.
feel like we should mention it.
Have you ever seen
fine.
that before?
Huh?
I mean, I don't care if you're there to see Prince. Like, if Hove comes on the stage, it's Hove, bro.
Well,
Right.
we live in
You
a
know
different
what I'm saying?
time. We live in
Yes,
a time where people
that's
want
right.
what they want. The respect ain't there like how it used to be. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you went to see Schoolboy Q and Kendrick showed up and Schoolboy Q didn't, you'd be like, damn, I want
But you
Schoolboy.
expect
God
Kendrick to
Yeah,
show
somehow I
up.
feel like
We
that
want Kendrick
analogy
though.
doesn't work.
Okay, so I'm just
It's
thinking
like-
that the hottest rap act shows up instead of, a kind of low key singing act, and I don't know. I feel like he could have covered. I mean, I love
And
Frank
it-
Ocean. He's got
It
great
was
music,
low key
but-
kind of a boss move by Drake. Like, it's not like he got booed off the stage. He was just like, you know what? I'm out. He's like, yo, y'all
Like
want me to
that's- like
stay?
that- like that
They were like,
SpongeBob
he was
meme.
like, you know what? No, I'm
I
out of
don't
here.
even know if that's worse than the boo.
All the more reason why he's the MVP, because you know what? I was doing y'all a favor. Y'all don't want it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
I don't
was
need
shocked.
this.
I'm like, y'all can get like 100 songs
like,
right now.
like I'm trying to say, that audience wanted a certain vibe
Yeah.
from a certain act.
That's a fact.
And didn't want Aubrey. They wanted their champion, their rainbow champion. Okay? A lot of times that's what it is.
I love Frank Ocean, by the way. I think he's a really talented
That's
guy.
cool, but it was deeper than music for Frank Ocean. If it was just a music show, of course Aubrey comes up. But a lot of his fan base connects with him on a personal side. You gotta factor that in.
That's a really good point. I feel like it's
Sidebar.
not been talked about enough.
Sidebar.
I'm not afraid to
Song
go
of
into the
year.
dirty water.
The song that has been resonating with you all year. One song.
Oh, shit. D just brought up a topic, and I
Little
like the
small-
topic.
little
Shall
quick
we?
sidebar. We'll get through it real quick.
Damn.
Little
I'm trying to
drive-by
give Drake
action.
the MVP trophy. Got me the fuck out
Nah, I
of
like
here.
it. That's a good topic, though.
We're gonna touch
Drake
right.
is the MVP. But yeah, song of the year.
Drake MVP.
Song of the year.
The song. It don't even have to be the song of the song that you hear.
Pick a song that you
"That's
love."
my song.
Yeah.
It's who wants to go first? I know who my song
I'm
is.
gonna go first. Massage Seats by Freddie Gibbs and Madlib.
Okay. Danny, oh, you want me to go? Since it's
Nah, talk to me, man. I'm vibing.
for me, it's from the Jim Jones album. It was what was it called again? I'm reading it right now.
What,
Pity in the
Cam?
Summer.
What's the one? What's the one?
It's called Pity in the Summer. Is with Cam and Fred the God.
Copy.
New York City.
Oh, shout out to Fred the Godson, BX.
Jim Jones' album really resonated with me,
That was a really good album.
I play that song every day.
Are we out of Jameson?
Yeah, you had it last. What do you mean? Anyway,
Man, the cup runneth over.
I might go that Davies and Nas song.
Oh!
Godfather 4.
Yo,
Yes,
you
sir.
get an extra 2
Godfather
seconds
4.
on the dap, bro. That's fire, cause that's where I was going. That's my
Yeah, straight repeat.
What?
Straight repeat.
Champagne over breakfast. Come on, bro.
You know what? You're right. You're
Come
right.
on. Heavy rotation.
that was amazing.
Fire.
I just wanted to boost in.
A tree drop in the forest. Nobody heard this shit drop. It's really garbage. Nas was spitting. Dave was spitting.
So
I love that song.
That's your choice too?
Yeah, bro. That's really what I was hoping. What?
Huh? I'm
Heavy
sorry.
rotation.
I'm sorry.
Lot of
I
hate,
rolled
bro.
my eyes, guys. You
Lot
know.
of hate.
You know. It's fine. I'm on brand.
If not that, it'd probably be like government official. I listen to that song like 50 times a
Yo,
day.
and it came out of New York, so you know
That's
what I
the
mean?
thing. This was a low-key good New York year.
Yeah,
It was.
That's a fact.
It was a
You know what I
low-key
mean?
good New York year.
Good, very, very good New York year. So,
Indeed.
rap MVP, we got it out the way. Any stories? We had a story topic on deck, but I felt like we already know the biggest story was 6ix9ine. It's like to beat that horse to hell be pointless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We know what it is with
We've
that.
already talked about
Talk
it.
ad nauseum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is the point in the show, our personal favorite segment,
Yes.
the mailbag segment. This episode we were prepared. I sent my mailbag topic over to Langston. It's in his phone. He's gonna read it.
You know, I love reading out loud. I love the sound of my voice.
He loves listening to himself, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
with this topic, we had a rant. Well, I ranted last episode about old heads ruining hip hop. So the mailbag segment. Dean, you got this light on my face, bro.
Oh, my fault, bro. I didn't know that joint was on.
You got
My
your
bad.
flashlight on,
My
man.
bad.
You know what I
That
mean?
happened.
We're gonna talk. Basically, the mailbag segment is gonna center around that rant because we got multiple responses. There was a lot to choose from, but we triangulated it down to 2. So Langston, you got the first one. Read the person's name and their comment.
So this comes from Bryce Raheem, and he says, "Dude, speaking on how old heads are ruining rap was ridiculous bias toward his point of view. There are quite a few good artists in today's game. You gotta search for them though. Whereas in the 80s to the early 2000s, elite rappers were everywhere, all caps. Sounding like another rapper was a virtual sin, LOL."
Agreed.
Any takeaways from that comment in particular? Since you know you were the most attacked on that, and you agree, disagree?
Yeah, no, I agree with his sentiment. A little bit. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, just off top, there was more, I feel like, quality control at a certain point than there is now. And
Okay.
so, yeah.
So you side with him on that
Yeah.
particular topic. All right. So of course I found a comment that agreed with my take because you know I only care about my take on that particular topic. Exile Radio on Instagram says some are.
Oh, shout out to Exile. All right.
Some are for
Producer
sure.
extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and he agrees with Jav. He says
That's Exile from Blue and Exile fame.
Oh, excellent.
Wait, whoa, what?
Yeah, that's Exile.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That Exile?
Bro, when I tell you that people are watching us, I'm not saying if some people say it on podcasts, you know they're watching. No, niggas is watching, bro.
That is a classic hip hop album.
That absolutely is. Yeah.
Niggas is watching, okay?
All right, shout to the
Even
homie. We
even when I
appreciate
put
the
out-
support.
When I put out the blue topic about him saying what he said about what was it, E40 and Fat Joe, some like the comment.
All right, shout to we appreciate the support, man. Shout to you.
But he said Exile Radio says some are for sure. Cats who discredit the youth because of their tight jeans, etc., but youngers will take the option of these type of dudes over bitter cats and use it as fuel, not to care about learning any history. That's not cool. He wrote a massive run-on sentence. But it's bitter old heads' fault for alienating the millennial artists in the first place and not expecting something new. The cycle needs to stop, but it might be too late. Which he put what I was saying in a much nicer, less angry form. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
the older cats have alienated the youth, and that's the part that annoys me because again, I keep repeating myself. When I was in my teens and in my early 20s, my OGs fronted on the music I was listening to. They didn't like it. They called it noise. They called it this and that. People who loved the 80s rap didn't love the 90s and the 2000s rap because they didn't like the messaging and what they were talking about and what they were promoting, etc. And I feel like now it's the same thing with older cats like Sin, blaming the messaging, blaming the look, blaming this, blaming the aesthetics. And I'm like, bro, stop doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone has their time. And I feel like whether we like it or not, it's their time. And for all the young dudes wearing tight jeans, there's a bunch of cats in New York right now who pants might be slightly tight, but they outside beating niggas up too. Just the same way our favorite rappers is beating niggas up. Yeah. Give people a shine. To that you say what, Sin?
I mean,
there you go.
No, because it's because I'm trying to figure out which part of that comment to address, because I've never once had a problem with what anybody wears. Like, fashion is a completely different thing. Well, fashion has always been a part. I mean, fashion has always been a part of hip hop, but I don't diss nobody for wearing no types of jeans or no dresses or no skirts or whatever. Like, Kanye came out in a full like leather skirt, but or kilt. Sorry, you're right. In a full leather kilt, but that was still during Watch the Throne era. So the music was still fire. So as long as the music is fire, then I don't really care. But
even when you look at Tyler,
I'm just concerned with the quality of the music, the energy that's going into the music. How much pride are they taking in their craft? Right. And if I feel like I hear somebody like Lil Yachty or something like that, and then it doesn't sound like they're taking all that much pride in their craft, then I'm gonna call it out, and that's
I agree with you there, because Yachty to me is everything wrong with the culture and with the gatekeepers who let anything in. A guy like him shouldn't be getting paid millions of dollars to rap because he's terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's nothing good about it because southern rappers are fire. Like, I like southern rappers, but I feel like he is everything wrong with rap. I'm sorry, Yachty, I'm attacking you, but I'm just not a fan. I don't understand. I don't understand the allure of guys of his ilk. Like, get him out of here. Right. Anyone else disagree with that?
I mean, the only thing that I would add is that if there's a disconnect between the new school and the old school, it's not incumbent upon the new school to reach out to the old school. Like, it's incumbent upon us to reach out to the youth. Yeah. That's the way that it should work, and work with them, because at the end of the day,
we're the future, Charles, not them.
I mean, their impulse is to be creative and to challenge boundaries, and it's up to us to guide them.
That is
and
true.
It's not the other way around.
We've always been the guiding hand.
Right.
Like, hey, watch your step, youngster. You know what I'm saying?
But then there's also the flip side of that like they won't be. Like, I feel like they're not going to be open to.
That's not our call. But
yeah, I know. I understand that, but like. You know what? I'm gonna I go back to like the what was it, like episode 3, I think, when we were talking about like Offset and his interview, talking about like, yo, like y'all should be kissing our rings.
Whoa, he was talking about a specific rap group, right? He was talking about Bone Thugs, a rap group that you've disparaged multiple times, and here you are. Taking him to task for disparaging a rap group who you've disparaged multiple times.
I don't think that was the case.
He was talking about Bone Thugs and Harmony.
He was talking about one guy. There was one person.
But he was talking about like the older cats in general need to pay homage.
At that point in the interview, he made it a more general statement that like.
We should be paying homage.
Why should we need to respect the older heads?
We selling more records. We're making more money.
Making more money, selling more records, getting more streams. You know what I mean? Y'all should be, paying us respect. And that's just not the way things work.
Damn sure don't.
See, but I disagree. That is the way things work. Like, you do in hip hop, which has always been, and we've gone through this before. It's always been a culture driven by the youth.
Okay.
We should. I don't know whether we are or we're not. But we should. But listen, we should defer to the youth. We should tell them, listen, you tell us where the culture is going, and we'll guide you, and we'll tell you where we think the culture should go.
It's not really them
but
guiding
ultimately,
the youth.
Ultimately, it's gonna be up to you. I mean, that's my opinion.
But that's only because it's. I mean, the culture and the genre is only but 40 years old. There's for a long time there was nothing but youth driving it, right? Like
that's a lot of the tension that we're seeing now is right, where we're at. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like, I'm just thinking about it from a historical and sociological point of view. That like, if we just continue let the youth just do what they want and not look back at their forefathers and the what came before them, you know what I mean? Then. But who's to say that like they're going in the right direction? Somebody does have to guide them at some point.
You're right, but the thing is,
and that's how like shit gets forgotten. You know what I mean? Like if you just like let them be to their own devices.
Right. You're right, but what I'm saying is you can't expect, and I'm not saying you per se, but you can't expect a 17, 18, 19, 21-year-old to look back to KRS-One or Big Daddy Kane.
That guy wasn't even a thought.
Right. Like
I feel that
their forefather right now is Jay-Z. You'll see a lot of these kids pay homage to Jay-Z, pay homage to Nas, so on and so forth.
That's a fact. Like
so it's like when you say that, it's like they're just not. It's just not our forefathers. It's a generational thing. I remember I've talked about it before. There's a generational divide because their worldview is not our worldview, because we were looking at, as much as we love Nas and Jay, they were like kind of like peers. And the guys like Rakim were the OGs,
and it trickles down because like we're a little older than like the Meek Mills. The Meek Mills look at Hove like God. The younger dudes love Meek, and the younger dudes look at Hove. The younger dudes look at Meek like the man, but they respect Hove through Meek respect.
I feel you, but what I'm saying is that like, you can trace the lineage, right? And I've said this before. You can trace the lineage between, the mid '80s to late '80s to early '90s to mid '90s into 2000.
Even in sports, no one's looking at Bob Cousy. They looking at Magic Johnson.
No. I feel I'm not talking about like going back and seeking out like like early footage or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that like aesthetically, sonically, you can trace the lineage, right? And at some point, relatively recently, like that lineage has been interrupted somehow, right?
I think
there's been a breakage in that lineage.
I think it's because of the boom of Southern rap. That kind of threw everything off course. Think about all these.
I don't think so, no. I mean, there's something to that, but I think it's more along the lines of like, the introduction of like, if I were to pinpoint something, and I'm pretty sure I've made this point before, like 808s and Heartbreaks, like the way that kids now look back at that album, that was the starting point of like a complete divergence of the sound. You know what I mean? Which led to Drake and led to like more sort of synthy, and more sort of
Wayne.
A lot of Wayne, a lot of
blame Wayne for that too.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like that whole thing, and then like a lot of the youth gravitated to that particular sound and just like went in a completely different direction with it. But back to my point is just that breakage in the lineage. I think that's where the strife comes from.
Well, I think and it's also because you might think it's a breakage in the lineage, but others like myself feel like that's all part of the shit. It's all tied in.
Because if you had your way, not you per se, but the person who wants to have the strong arm on the culture for the new youths, we wouldn't have a lot of stuff we have today. And to you, that's probably like, yay, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like a dad, like when you're growing up, you're trying to do things your way. If your dad kind of keeps interjecting and do it this way, do it that way, you're not going to have the same product you would have had if you did it by yourself.
Like I fully understand. Like I have an 18-year-old son, so I understand.
There you go. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Like we're going to bump heads just, on GP. Just because you don't want to do.
Where do you think that's natural progression?
Yeah. Where do you think your guidance to teach him to stay on the right path kind of converges with like how the older G's are supposed to teach the younger dudes to kind of stay on the right path? You know what I'm saying?
Like here's my thing. Like if I were to create an analogy of me talking to my son and be like, look, this is your life.
I'm sorry to cut you. I was so about to spit that verse that I have to this beat, but back to what you're saying.
You do what you want to do. You do it the way that you feel is best for you, but you gotta stick to some type of guidelines. You know what I mean? I think ultimately one of the things that bothers me the most is the lack of
the four elements.
No, I mean the lack of
the four elements.
Well, the lack of
there is four elements.
Yeah,
to hip-hop,
the lack of guidelines, right? So like, not guidelines that were like, you know, laws or rules that was written in stone, but like things that were always in the back of an artist's head, like, you know, if I'm gonna stay true to the hip hop culture, right, I'm gonna do it this way, that way, and the third way, right? Mm-hmm. That's just not like the guidelines to the culture, like the I don't know, like it feels like everything is such a wide open plain, so like kind of Wild West out there that anybody can come on and you know, do scoop-diddy poop on a record, and if it takes off on Twitter, right, or it gets big on YouTube, then
it's hip hop.
It's hip hop, right? Wow. As long as you put it to like some, you know, like a trap beat with like 1,000 hi-hats and like one clap, right? Then
what's the word I'm looking for when you they're tainting it, you're saying?
Well, I mean, I got to jump in here because we got to get back on schedule.
Right.
I will say this. We could do this
all night.
All night.
Yeah.
This topic right here, that divide. Shout out to Exile Radio's comment for sparking this conversation.
Shout out to you, Exile.
Yeah. But I feel like we'll need to come back to this.
Yeah. For sure.
Revisitation.
Because you can see both sides of it. Sincere loves this shit. And he feels like a responsibility to keep it on a certain level. But I believe that the divide is, I think a lot of these little cats love it too. But I don't think they love it for the same reasons we loved it. You know, but we'll get into that.
But they still love it though.
They still love it though. And that and it's just like having family.
Yeah.
We're all cousins, but
let's acknowledge that we all love it.
Jose's that dude from The Wire who's like, yo, no shootouts on Sunday.
Right.
Right.
When you see the wife and the kids, it's off. Yeah. But these new dudes, man, it's on site. They just changed the whole game.
You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, going back to the Post Malone topic from earlier, like, you know, that's
everything's acceptable, basically.
Right, exactly.
Nah,
you know
but
what I mean?
Post make good music. I wouldn't even do that to him. I think he makes good records. I just think that he's just inspired by so much that I blame the committees for putting him in that hip hop category because of his relationships.
Yeah,
but he doesn't make hip hop music.
Right, but to that point, I also think of it from that angle, like beyond just like, look, if you're an artist, you love music, you make the music that you love and feel. And whatever you feel will be the best tool for you to express yourself.
So
right?
what if whatever they feel,
like as an artist, right? But then my concern is once it's put out there in the world, right? An artist like Post Malone can take his personal freedoms on rap and hip hop, right? And then it gets put out there in the world, and then whoever's listening will, if they gravitate to that, and if it's popular enough, then that's what we're gonna call it. That's my biggest concern, is because we've seen this story time and time again, right? Rock and roll and jazz, and like I just don't want it to happen to hip hop, right? And that's it.
Fair enough. We'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back on this topic in 2020. We're at the point of the episode. I think we already kind of set up shop on that lawn based on this last topic. But we are at the point of the episode where Sincere gets us vagabonds and proceeds to ask us to get off Sincere's lawn. We clear out full ISO.
Yeah. So this Get Off My Lawn segment is definitely going to pick up on what we were just talking about, right? But it's going to specifically be targeted at a certain demographic that is 3/4 of this table. Whoa. Actually 30 somethings.
Oh God.
That So in the last episode, right? Jav came at my neck and my ilk's neck, right? 40-somethings who
jugular.
want to, want to have a
40-somethings.
stronghold on the culture and want to dictate what things sound like, and they're always mad and always hating and blah blah blah.
All facts.
Well, look,
I'm on this long.
you know what else is a fact? There's a lot of 30-somethings that feel it. The 40s right around the corner.
Oh boy.
They're gonna be old and washed and over the hill really, really soon. Like they
Right.
feel that coming, right? And they want to hold on to that youth, right? And so
What are you talking about?
and so
Wow.
and so
Wow.
they'll gravitate to anything that'll
Make them feel young.
make them feel young, right? That if they go up in the club and they rock out to it, they rock out to like some Lil Uzi or some Yachty or whatever, right? Or whoever's popping in from the mumble rap
Future's old, by the way. Just
Right.
but carry on.
All right. So whatever, I feel like whatever's gonna make them feel like they're still in touch with that youth, they're gonna rock with it. Now, if you want to say something like, all right, let the young boys have their time, all right, I can understand that, right? But then it becomes a thing where y'all 30-somethings, for the sake of sticking up and caping for the youth,
Wow,
y'all want to
I'm gonna fry him.
y'all want to disparage the classic shit. So when people like us want to come through and celebrate an Illmatic or Wu-Tang, I saw the Facebook comments and thread, right? When dude came in and took a snapshot of a writer on the subway because he was celebrating Wu-Tang on his backpack. And all of a sudden, you want to make fun of that because he's an old head because he's celebrating Wu-Tang.
No,
Yeah.
don't do that, Sid.
No,
we were
no.
making fun of his outfit. Stop it.
No,
Stop
you-
it.
no.
Stop
That's
it.
not
That
true.
nigga
I wear Wu-Tang memorabilia all the time.
Bro,
That's
this shit
not-
was trash, bro.
Y'all was disparaging him. Look at this old head with the Wu-Tang patch on his back.
And?
I remember that.
And y'all
And-
niggas is fucking whack. What happened?
And
here.
the outfit.
I'm awake now.
Free smoke.
Free smoke. I'm
Listen,
gonna shoot
man.
back. Cause niggas,
Listen,
nah,
man.
fuck
This
that.
is- this is
Nah.
exactly-
I'm gonna let you
this
finish.
is- this is
I'm gonna let
exactly
you
what I was
finish. I'm on
talking
my chair
about.
now. I'm on my chair now.
This is exactly what I was
I'm gonna let
talking
you
about.
finish.
Right? For the
What you talking about,
for the
Sid?
sake of being relevant
Relevant.
in 2019,
So
y'all
Are
wanna
you saying there's not a genuine like of the music?
For the sake-
people are
Listen-
just
Listen
for
to
the-
the arrogance.
for the
Listen to
sake of being
arrogance.
relevant in
Yes.
2019,
Yes.
you want to sacrifice the forefathers and the classicness
No.
and the Illmatics and 36 chambers
This is why-
and all that stuff.
Not at all.
Right?
What are you talking about?
Because I seen it.
What are you talking
I
about?
seen it like a 20
What are you
inch
talking
Zenith.
about?
I seen it like a 20 in Zenith. Believe it.
Believe it.
Get the fuck out of here,
Hey,
Sid.
yo,
This is not- you know what the-
time is running
and-
out.
and this is what I talk about with you motherfucking old heads right here. Y'all stay putting bullshit on a pedestal, or in this case, old shit on a pedestal, and y'all want everyone else below a certain threshold to kiss your ass, kiss the ring, and it's total bullshit. The fuck, nigga, it is 2019. Fuck your Wu-Tang book bag, nigga, with your bootcut jeans and your Timbs stuck in a fucking time warp. We gonna cut ass. That's what we gonna do. Us 30-somethings, we're gonna cut your
Listen,
ass for your
we should
bum ass True
celebrate-
Religion bootcut jeans
Celebrate
and your
Wu-Tang.
non-Timberlands. Get the fuck out of here.
Celebrate boot
No, it's
camp
not even
click.
about. It's not even about celebrating.
Celebrate
It's the fact that y'all
Outkast,
refuse.
celebrate-
Y'all refuse to go forward. You are the people who are stuck in that time warp, and y'all get
Nobody's
mad.
stuck in a
fuck
time
outta
warp,
here.
bro.
You want to attack me? I'm going to attack back.
Listen,
I'm going to
my
attack
top-
back.
My top, my
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
I love Wu. That's like part of this criticism. It's not even for me, but I'm gonna defend my demo.
two of my
because-
top 5 albums this year: YBN Corday and Boogie from the West Coast.
And
Those
both
are
of them
two
shits is
young
because
artists.
they fit your snooze ass aesthetic that nobody gives a fuck about.
They are
Corday
young
has some joints
artists.
Nobody give a fuck about YAB and Corbin.
There's some joints on
You don't give a fuck about
Nobody
YBN
even
Corday.
talks about Boogie. Who the fuck is Boogie? But because
That album was fire, though.
No one talks
no,
about
it wasn't.
Boogie, though.
But because it fits your aesthetic and your arrogant ass 40-something aesthetic, The fact that we don't co-sign with your arrogant ass aesthetic.
But you co-sign
now
bullshit,
we're trying
though.
to stay young.
But you co-sign bullshit just for the purpose of.
But the gag is, us 30-somethings tell you, yeah, we know it's bullshit, but we like it. Y'all niggas act like y'all got some fucking trophy to hold up. The fuck out of here. Y'all on y'all pedestal. Get kick rocks. You had your time.
You must have hated me
get
for that
out the
Future
way.
tape then.
I agree with Joe.
You know what I'm saying?
Me for that
all of y'all
Future
niggas
tape.
can get out the way.
From earlier?
Again, because again, y'all motherfuckers are the biggest hypocrites. Because you niggas led the charge of the gangster rap of the 90s. And y'all
Who said anything about gangster
Get the
rap?
fuck out of here.
Who said anything about gangster rap? I'm talking about the quality of the music.
When y'all had y'all run, when y'all led the forefront of that gangster shit, your OGs did not like it. And y'all were in the same boat. And now y'all get to 40 and y'all become the biggest hypocrites because now it's not gangster shit. It's not shit that you like. It's some other shit. Because y'all forget that when it was gangster rap in the 90s, that was
because gangster?
When it was the gangster rap, let me finish. When it was the gangster rap in the 90s, that was considered the air quote other shit that this bullshit era is doing right now. It was filed under the same shit. Niggas was making whole op-eds about the fact that these rappers are promoting violence and it's not okay.
Right.
Now it's drug use. And it's the
that
same
was from
shit.
Within the culture?
Bro, it don't matter though.
Yes, it does matter because that was outside of the culture looking in.
It was
that was outside of the culture looking in.
You're being a hypocrite.
I'm not.
Because at the end of the day,
I'm not. That was the outside of the culture that was looking in and trying to talk about our culture.
Whatever, my guy. You say anything. The fact remains is
Cool G Rap came out in what? 1980 what?
Bro, I'm talking about the 90s.
The OG gangster rapper, son.
You're going back to the 80s.
The OG gangster rapper.
And them same dudes was criticizing them niggas from the 90s. So what are you talking about?
G-Rap made records with Nas.
Sincere, they wasn't getting criticized. Keep it a stack. Keep it a stack.
Who?
I'm gonna move right. Let me get my mic. I'm gonna move right next to you. Keep it a stack.
Who was getting criticized? Who was
the 90s? Yes or no?
By inside of the culture? By people in the culture?
Look how he was refusing to answer the question. It's a yes or no question.
By people in the culture?
No.
I'm trying to get some clarity.
Was there a criticism of the music that was coming out in the 90s? Yes or no?
Yes.
From the people in the culture or outside of the culture?
See, you know you're wrong because you won't answer the question. I'm good on that.
I'm talking about within the culture, bro.
To parse the question.
I'm talking about within the culture.
It's cool.
If you want to talk about
whatever, do what you want to do. Y'all old niggas is the problem.
Who was that lady? That lady that used to
Dolores Tucker.
Dolores Tucker.
See Dolores Tucker.
It was constant criticism.
There was constant criticism
of gangster rap
from outside of the culture.
And outside the culture.
I remember no criticism.
It's convenient to your argument.
From inside the culture.
You the only one
that's why I need the gravity.
You the only one that's saying that.
Inside of the culture.
Answer the question, Sincere. Yes or no? Was there criticism? Yes or no?
I think you
not from inside the culture.
Yes, it was.
No.
Yes, it was.
No.
You don't think there were people from inside the culture in the 90s that were saying maybe we shouldn't talk about women this way, or maybe we shouldn't be.
Again, the people who put me on to rap, who were listening to 80s shit, was criticizing the 90s and the early 2000s shit.
Come on.
Turn off that
gobbledygook. So what the fuck is Sincere talking about?
Turn off that gobbledygook. All they talk about is shoot 'em up.
Y'all dudes refuse to go forward. Y'all need to get the fuck out the way and let these young dudes cook. It don't mean that we trying to be young. It means that the same way we had
some shit that's hot.
The same way we had our time, these young dudes are allotted their time the same exact way. And if y'all 40-somethings don't want to get the fuck out the way, don't criticize niggas who actually allow niggas to have their time.
That's perfectly fine. But then don't disparage the
I'm gonna disparage because y'all niggas is haters. That don't do nothing. Y'all the haters who don't even realize y'all haters.
That don't do nothing but make y'all
look. I'm all over your lawn. I'm stomping on that grass.
That'll make
you gonna get some new tulips.
That doesn't do anything other than make you look like you just trying to stay young and relevant for the sake of it.
Because the same way y'all like Triple X and I say I don't listen to that shit. I pick and choose who I want to listen to.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about staying young. It's about that some of this shit is actually good.
Is trash. Like I like Future. Future's not really young, but
facts.
He make young music. You know what I'm saying?
Future been out since what, 09? 08, 09? He been around. A lot of these new niggas, I don't even know their names.
Like a lot of these dudes just suck. Which I mean, you talking about what's his name?
He done ran out of music.
What's his name? With the color, not the colorful hair. Gucci Man. Like there's
I
those
don't like
dudes
I don't like Lil
that
Pump.
are just terrible.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
We don't co-sign that.
That's not getting co-signed, bro.
I'm attacking
Like-
Sin again on episode
the-
11.
the-
I'm just gonna
the
keep
bum
attacking
bums?
Sin.
Hold up. But when you make it a blanket statement, like let these young boys cook.
Because it was whack shit in your time too.
I mean, but
Sin.
even
Nobody's saying
you
that
came
there
around.
wasn't.
So why we can't let them make they whack shit the same way you
'Cause
had
you like-
your
you like-
shit?
you
Well,
like
we gotta call it
I
out
think
though.
we should.
You
I
like
think we
Triple
should.
X,
We
so
can't
you
call
know
it
like
out.
Put
some
this
young
on
shit.
a. We should put this on the
We
shelf
can't call
for
it
later.
out.
I mean,
I'm a
we'll
hater
be-
because
we'll
I
be
call it
talking in
out. Just like
circles
you
forever.
call out bullshit, I call out bullshit. But I'm a hater
but you-
because I'm over 40.
Bro, because you call out bro, how much times we've scoffed at you for calling everything trash or okay or the 808s is too much? Come on, son.
I'm being told by the control room that we need to wrap it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the ball and
Damn,
We've
son,
been
this
going
was
at it
good.
for a
wrap
while.
it up.
Since they got me hot, we argued and they
Everything litty, you know that it's hot.
Anyway, listen, we are the Rap Roundtable.
Wait, get out the way. Get out the way.
point-
You're
the
not
point
even,
guard's
you're
taking
not
it
even
back.
closing it right. Anyway, I'm back on deck. Episode 12 is coming soon. We are gonna put a bow on probably the most divisive decade in hip hop history. Part of this argument, this philosophical debate that Sincere and I will never stop having is because of the past decade. We're gonna talk about the best and the worst of the last decade in rap. That's how we're gonna put an end in the end to 2019 and the beginning to 2020 and going forward. You know, the upper echelon of podcasts is here. Now you can have the ball, sir. I'm out of the way.
Yeah. So we're the Rap Roundtable. We've been doing it for a year. It's been a great year.
Yeah.
I'm Langston Leguizamo, the Thirsty Degenerate. Look out for the Thirsty Degenerate podcast coming soon. Like I said, it was last week. I promise you, it is. Deanie, the Balance of the Force, the Wealth of Your Choice. Look out for that.
Know the vibes.
Jarvis, the Gray Area podcast. It's really good, man. You guys should check it out. And Sincere the Rap Snob, he makes beats. Holla at him.
You made every beat you heard in this episode.
He did.
Every
Every
last one of them.
All fire.
And he goes in. So, guys, make sure that you check him out. We appreciate everyone that's been listening to us this year, man. We love you guys. Listen, subscribe, share, please. And we'll see you guys in a month. We'll see you guys in 2020. We out.